Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, wherever you're at in the world. Welcome to Last Rouse Baseball's live commentary of the Nippon Professional Baseball League. Tonight, we are going to bring you the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters and the Orix Buffaloes from the Kyocera Dome in Osaka. It is a battle of last year's defending Japan champions. And of course, the Fighters last year were the rock bottom in the Pacific League. It is going to be their matchup. That's going to be game 2 of the series here tonight. We're first of all going to give you the starting lineups for the visitors. And that will be the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters. Leading off and playing first base is number 5, Yuki Nomura. Batting second and playing second base is number 9, Takuya Nakashima. Batting third and doing the designated hitting is number 7, Go Matsumoto. In the cleanup spot and doing the catching is number 2, Ariel Martinez. Batting fifth in right field is number 66, Chusei Manami. Batting in the sixth spot and playing in left field is number 6, Arismendi Alcantara. Batting seventh and playing shortstop is Daigo Kamikawakabata. Batting eighth and in center field is number 12, Kuda Yazawa. And batting ninth is the third baseman, number 56, Ryuhei Hosokawa. And they're going to be facing, it'll be Daichi Takayasu, who takes to the hill with a 2-0 record. He's worked 26 innings. He's allowed 27 hits. He has walked 10, struck out 20. He's given up 13 runs, 11 of which have been earned. He's got a 3.81 earned run average. Well, that's the starting lineup for the visitors from Hokkaido. Now the starting lineup for the home team. The Buffaloes leading off in left field is number 1, Shuhei Fukuda. Batting second and playing third base is number 5, Masahiro Nishino. And the 3 spot playing in center field is number 67, Kai Nakagawa. And the cleanup spot is number 4, the designated hitter tonight, Tomoya Mori. Batting fifth at first base is number 44, Yuma Tongu. Batting sixth in the right field is number 56, Yuya Oda. Batting seventh and doing the catching is number 2, Kenya Wakatsuki. Batting eighth and playing second base is number 53, Sho Gibbo. And batting ninth, the shortstop, number 24, Kataro Kobayashi. And they're going to be facing Koki Kitayama, who takes to the hill with a 1-2 record. He's worked 14 innings this year. He's allowed 4 hits, 5 runs, 4 of which have been earned. The glaring number that stands out is he has walked 10 batters in those 14 innings. He has struck out 13, and he has a 2.57 ERA. Well, that's the starting lineups, and we are ready to get this one underway here in about a minute so time as the Buffaloes have taken to the field. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back in 30 seconds after this. We appreciate y'all for jumping in here with us tonight. It is Fighters versus Buffaloes. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Nomura, Nakashima, and Matsumoto to get things going here in just a couple moments. They have the ceremonial first pitch as we are a little bit delayed as it is being tossed out here by one of the Buffaloes, one of the more famous people that, yes, in the Osaka area. It's always a treat because the visiting batter is in the batter's box, the catcher is up, and the mascot is acting as the umpire. Jacob wants to know who wins tonight. Well, that's a great question. Is the team that should be favored to win is the Buffaloes, although they didn't last night. They are the defending Japan champs, and of course, the pitching for the Fighters here tonight would put the needle toward the Buffaloes here in this one. So we'll see what happens here as we're about ready to get this one underway. As we said, we are a couple of minutes behind the traditional 10 o'clock first pitch or Pacific time, or it is 2 p.m. local time on the 20th in Japan, is a little bit behind here as the right-hander is now coming out to start his warm-up tosses. So we will be back in just a couple of moments. We appreciate everybody here for listening in, and we will be back in 30 with all the action. Steve Rademacher, Jacob in the house, and we expect a lively audience tonight. We'll be back in a few.
But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, baby, you'll get sick of being the monster out of my head, under my bed. Think you're
Silhouettes of you are like a taunt. Never really know just what you want.
Welcome back, everybody. The starter for the Buffaloes, Takayasu, is just completing his warm-up tosses, and we'll be getting this one underway here in just a moment, as the right-hander is going to be making his start here tonight. The Fighters, of course, in last night's ball game, took care of the Buffaloes. It was interesting. We were talking before about these two ball clubs. There was a number of rainouts in last night's ball games. Not all the games were played. It is a full slate of games here for the 20th, as there is action around the NPB. All six, there will be 6 games, all 12 teams in action tonight. The Marines are in Tohoku to play the Golden Eagles. And we are ready to get this one underway finally, as the first pitch is a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is quickly 0-1 to Yuki Nomura. Nomura batting .236 on the season with 5 homers and 19 RBIs. He bats from the right side against the right-handed throwing Takayasu, who kicks and delivers a fastball that misses down and away. The count goes even at 1-1. As we mentioned, the other game in the Pacific League tonight is the Lions at the Hawks. That's at the PayPay Dome in Fukuoka, as the split finger pitch is swung on and missed. The count now goes to 1-2. That will feature Kona Takahashi and Nao Higashiyama. As the 1-2 is on the way, it's a fastball that misses down, and the count now goes to 2-2 on Nomura. The Fighters are wearing this third jersey that they have come up with. It is black and red. And there is a slow breaking ball that is chopped foul. It is lifted into the seats, though, behind the first base dugout. The count now remains at 2-2. That they remind me of, in some ways, if I go crossover sports, the old Vancouver Canucks uniforms with the flying V. There's a fastball swung on it, is grounded foul just past the bag at first base, and the count remains at 2-2. And that's what it looks like, as they've got some of this V shape across their front of their outfits. And I call it outfits because it is red on the front and the back of the left leg, and it is black and yellow. So a very interesting uniform. They have collars like the Chicago White Sox from the 1970s. Here's the 2-2 pitch. It's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is now 3-2 to Nomura. But I guess if you're going to keep playing well with them on, you might as well keep wearing them, because the Fighters are no longer in last place in the Pacific League. That now belongs to the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. As the 3-2 is on the way, it's a fastball swung on. It's chopped over the head of the pitcher, fielded on the backhand by the second baseman Gibbo, who throws off a one leg, and that is going to retire Nomura on a ground out 4-3 for the first out of the inning. So one fighter up and one fighter down, and that is going to bring up the second baseman Takuya Nakashima. Well, for Nakashima on the season, he's batting an even 200. He's got no homers, no RBIs. He's only got 5 at-bats. Our friend Fox12 says this game isn't even on DraftKings. Probably because they were scared away from the uniforms as well. There's a first pitch fastball taken for a called strike at the knees, and it's quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. As the right-hander delivers, there's a fastball swung on and fouled away. The count now goes to 0-2. Yeah, I looked at this pitching matchup here, and obviously the needle to me points to the Buffaloes right-hander Takayasu. But I don't know how you would put the odds on some of this, especially with the pitcher who's being rolled out for the Fighters tonight. As that fastball misses outside, the count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Nakashima. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there's a slow breaking ball swung on, and it's lifted foul into the seats down the third base line, and the count remains at 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Nakashima will be followed by Matsumoto here in the first inning, as there's 1 gone. Takayasu kicks and delivers. It is a fastball that is swung on, and it's knife foul down the third base line. And that's going to keep the count at 1-2. We weren't sure if we were going to do this. We were looking at even calling these same 2 teams last night. And it's just the time has been of the essence and has got the best of us. So we tapped out on that. Here's the fastball that misses inside. And the count now goes to 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Left-handed hitting, Nakashima waiting on the offering here from Takasu, and it's a breaking ball that misses down and in, and now the count goes full. So back-to-back batters, Takasu has taken to a full count on each of them. So 3 balls and 2 strikes it is here to the left-handed hitting second baseman as the right-hander kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball that misses upstairs. That's going to be ball 4, and Nakashima's got himself a 1-out walk, and that is going to bring up the designated hitter, Go Matsumoto. Well, for Matsumoto on the season, he's hitting .311. He's got a homer and 12 RBIs. He was the Pacific League batting champion in 2022. So he is picking up where he left off last year. He's getting the start as the designated hitter tonight. So as I said about these uniforms, and the other part is that the F on the helmet is offset, not centered up. It's offset on an angle. Here's the first pitch. It's a breaking ball that's taken for a ball. The throw down to second is going to be in time to get Nakashima. That's going to be caught stealing 2-6 on the putout. What a throw there by Kenya Wakatsuki to nail the runner as Nakashima is retired for out number 2. Let's see what the result of that first pitch was. We didn't know if it was a strike or a ball, but the umpire looked like he went up with the right hand. So 0-1 to Matsumoto. So 2 gone here as the fastball comes inside, and Matsumoto says he's been hit. And he has been hit. So they walk a guy, they throw him out, and now they hit a guy. That's going to bring up Ariel Martinez to the plate with 2 gone. And now Matsumoto at first base. Didn't hit him. That, if you're going to get hit by a pitch, that's the pitch you want to get hit by. That one there looked like it just grazed the elbow as it was able to deflect into the catcher's mitt. But if you're going to get hit by a pitch, that's the one you want to get hit by. So here comes the offering now to the right-handed hitting Ariel Martinez, and there's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. Count is quickly 0-1. Martinez on the season batting .245 with 4 homers and 9 RBIs. The former Chinichi Dragon hitting from the right side here. And the pitch is on the way. It's a fastball swung on. It's grounded through the 6-hole into left field. That's going to be a base hit. Stopping at second is Matsumoto. That's going to put runners at first and second. That's going to bring up the right fielder, Chusei Manami. I watched what felt like all of about 2 minutes of the Detroit Tigers and Washington Nationals tonight. And there was a situation where the Nationals failed to turn a double play. And then there was a base hit. The next thing you know, a 3-run homer took place. This kind of gets you that early eerie feeling right here, as I don't want to predict the future against the Buffaloes per se, but it sure makes you sit and think that this could possibly be a situation. Here's the first pitch to Manami. It's a breaking ball that misses outside for a ball. The count is 1-0. Nothing worse than when you get the first 2 outs of the inning, especially when it's a caught stealing for your second out. And then you hit a guy and another guy gets a base hit, and now you're back into a jackpot again. So 2 on and 2 away here as the right-hander holds to the set. And now he kicks and delivers. It is a breaking ball that misses upstairs, and the count now goes to 2 balls and no strikes to Manami. We got our friend Mick, 3Y official, in the house. And he says, how about those Nuggets and Heat? Well, to be honest with you, I haven't really paid a whole lot of attention to the NBA playoffs. The playoffs in the NBA have been I don't want to say at the back of my mind, but really in a lot of ways have been. So 2 balls and no strikes here to Manami as the right-hander kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count now goes to 3-0. So 3 balls and no strikes. Three balls and no strikes here to Manami as the right-hander Takasu is putting himself into some difficulty. As the right-hander works to the set position, checks the runner and now delivers. It's a breaking ball that misses down and away. That's going to be ball 4. Manami's going to get himself a walk. That's going to load the bases here, and everything is all now coming with 2 out. Nick says both the Nuggets and the Heat are up 2-0 in their series. That's going to put runners at the bases are loaded. 12 balls and 12 strikes so far for Takayasu. So as we said, Nomura was the first out of the inning. He grounded out, and then it was a walk to Nakashima, and he got thrown out, caught stealing on the first pitch to Matsumoto. Then Matsumoto was plunked, then a hit by Martinez, now a walk to Manami, and the bases are full with 2 gone, and that brings up Arizmendi Alcantara. Well, for Alcantara on the season, he's batting .242. He's got 3 homers and 9 runs batted in. Digging himself in here, batting from the left side is Alcantara as he waits the first offering here from Takayasu. And it's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into left field. Coming in and over toward the line is the left fielder, and that is going to be hauled in by Shuhei Fukuda. And that is going to do it here as Alcantara is out number 3, but not an easy inning by any stretch for Takayasu. There was no runs in the inning. There were no hits, no runs. There was 1 hit. No errors, and there was 3 runners left aboard. We're through a half inning. Your score is the Fighters 0, the Buffaloes coming to bat. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few minutes after this. We appreciate everybody being here, including Mick, our friend Titus, Steve Rademacher, Fox 12, Jacob, and anybody else who we've missed. We'll be back here in just a few. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Shuhei Fukuda, Masahiro Nishino, and Kai Nakagawa to come to bat to face the right-hander, Koki Kitayama. As we said, Kitayama on the season here, the alarming number for him is the number of walks. 10 walks in 14 innings pitched. That is something we're going to have to keep an eye on. He does have 13 strikeouts to go with it. He is 1-2 on the year. Mick says Orix is his team, but they've been throwing away games, especially with runners in scoring position. As the first pitch is delivered, it's a fastball swung on. It's grounded over to second. Fielded neatly by Nakashima. He throws to first, and with 1 pitch, we have 1 away here in the bottom of the first inning. That is going to bring up the third baseman, Masahiro Nishino. Well, one of the things for the Buffaloes is noticeable. There's Tomoya Mori was out for a little bit. He has returned to the lineup. They are still without Yataro Sugimoto, who had 8 home runs pretty much in the months of March and April. They also don't have Yuma Mune in their lineup tonight, and nor is Frank Schwindel. So you take 3 bats like that out of your lineup, and on top of it, Marwin Gonzalez is getting the night off. So there's 4 bats not in your lineup that are there to hit. So you're getting a bit of a skeleton crew. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lined into left field. It's going to get down for a base hit. Alcantara fields it, and Nishino is aboard with a single. So he's got himself aboard with a 1-out single, and it's going to bring up Kai Nakagawa to the plate. Well, for Nakagawa on the season, he's hitting .273. He's got 4 homers and 14 runs batted in. As we said there, it was kind of interesting to see that. 3 pitches here so far in the ball game for the right-hander, Kitayama, who's ready to go back to work. These uniforms are definitely an eyesore for the Fighters. There's a fastball that just misses outside and the count is 1-0. Or I don't know if they're an eyesore for the Fighters or an eyesore for the fans who are watching it. I think even softball teams across North America would blush having to wear these uniforms. But as I said before, if they win games, I guess you might as well keep on rolling them out. Here's the 1-0 pitch as the right-hander works to the set. And now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that catches the outside corner, and the count goes even to 1-1. I was looking all over the place for some good footage or good photos of these uniforms, but I think even the internet may have broken down, not wanting to provide that information out to everybody. Here's the 1-1 pitch as the righty holds set and delivers. It's a breaking ball that misses upstairs, and the count now goes to 2-1 on Nakagawa. As we mentioned earlier, the other games around the NPB tonight, there is a full slate of them. All the games are 1400 hours or 2 p.m. local time starts. And everything is underway with no score across the board in every other location around the NPB. There's a fastball swung on. This ball has popped up. It's in the infield. It's over on the first base side. But the catcher, Martinez, is going to be able to haul that one in. Wasn't sure where that was going. The pitcher was going over to first. The first baseman was coming in, but Martinez calls everybody off and makes the catch. And that is going to retire Nakagawa. As we look at that one again. 2 gone here, and that is going to leave it up to the designated hitter, Tomoya Mori. I have to say, I've not seen Martinez catch this year. Every time we have seen the Fighters play, which hasn't been a lot, he has been their designated hitter. Tonight he is getting the assignment behind the plate is the Cuban. So Tomoya Mori batting here from the left side against the right-handed throwing Kitayama, who works to the set and now delivers. It's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike it is. Friend Mick says his 6-game parlay MLB hit and his 5.5 Miami hit, so I'm a playing listener. That's awesome. There's a 0-1 pitch. It's a fastball swung on. This is lifted into deep left field. Moving back on the warning track is Alcantara, and he's going to haul that one in, and that is going to retire Mori for the 3rd out of the inning. So no runs in the inning on 1 hit. There was no errors, and there was 1 runner left aboard. We're now through 1 complete inning. It is the Fighters no score and the Buffaloes no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call at the top of the 2nd inning. When we return, we're all locked up at 0s. Here's our friend Steve Rademacher. When you get a chance, go check him out after the game. Steve will probably invite you in and have a beer with you.
Oh, hello. Oh, hey. Yep. I'm just sitting here listening to Freddie call another game here on YouTube. Oh, yeah, going really good. He's calling a great game. Really exciting. Lots of stuff going on. You're lucky it's commercial break right now. I got a second. Oh, yeah, of course I'm having a cold one. Oh, yeah, got plenty of videos coming up this week. You should stop in, check them out, leave a like, tell other people. But, Freddie's coming back. I got to go catch the game. I will check in with you later. You have a good night, buddy. Bye.
Welcome back, everybody. It's going to be the bottom third of the order to come to bat here for the Fighters. It's going to be Daigo Kamikawa Kabata, Kota Yazawa, and then it'll be Ryuhei Hasakawa as the first pitch is a fastball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-0 to Kamikawa Kabata. For Kamikawa Kabata, he is batting 183 on the season with no homers and 9 RBIs as that fastball misses outside, and the count is 2-0. He had a abbreviated year last year with the big club, and then he has got himself off to a bit of a slow start. He really had a decent year last year with the Fighters, as that fastball misses outside. It's now 3-0. Well, the way it's going here, they've called time, and it looks like they're coming out to maybe check on the pitcher with the trainer. And one would have to say that Takayasu does not look good. He's hit a batter, he's walked two, and he's on the way right now to walking a third one, and he hasn't been close. And they're taking him off the mound. I wonder if this is going to be it for him, or if they're going to go and have a look at him with the trainers. But his night is going to be over here in the second inning. He was not looking good at all as he slowly walks off the mound with the trainer. And I think they're going to be making a decision here. That last pitch, when he threw it, you could just see that there was so much arm side run on the pitch, and the catcher called time. Kenny Wakatsuki did, and it was like, hey, we know something's up here. And so they are out there, and it looked like he kind of slipped on his plant foot as well. It wasn't very, very smooth, and actually you could see that he grimaced and held the time up, and maybe it's a hamstring issue, or maybe it's a knee issue as he walked gingerly off the mound. But I have a feeling after they check on him, we probably aren't going to be here for very long. So, you know what, everybody, hang tight for a second. Maybe that's another reason, Mick, that this is off the board, as the starter for the Buffaloes is down. But that will change everything up for our friend The Living Room on his picks maybe as well. So hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back in just a few. We have a break in the action. We'll be right back.
Hey guys, while the manager's searching for a relief pitcher, let me help you with some relief channels. On top of mine and Freddy's, you can always check out Redbeard Breaks, Zero Fox Sports, you know another Hollis build, check them out again. Maybe Beast and Beauty Breaks, or even Dab's Family. Oh, looks like they have their pitcher, so after the game, check out some other videos by Freddy. They're fun, they're cool. Enjoy the game. Peace out, and cheers.
Appreciate you there, Steve, and the support you lend to our channel, and in turn, we support Steve Rademacher. It is going to be a pitching change, as we are going to be giving you a reliever here, but we have to see who the Buffaloes are calling upon. So we do have a break in the action here before we are going to resume here. They are on the phone. Of course, this is going to be it. It's a 3-ball and no strike count to Kamikawa Kabata. They are coming out to make the announcement of the change, but we are still a couple minutes away. And as well, they're going to have to get their pitcher heated up here pretty quickly to get ready to resume the action. So we'll take another timeout. Your score, 0-0 here in the top of the second inning. We'll be right back after this from some of our cheerleaders. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be a pitching change on our hands here as they are calling to the bullpen. Are the Buffaloes, as the starter Takayasu is left the ball game due to an injury. It is going to be Nobuyuchi Yamada on in relief. The left-hander is coming in to work his 13th appearance of the year. Is his first appearance of the year. He worked 12 ball games last year in 2022. He was 1 win and no losses. This is his first appearance this year at the NPB level. He did have a 4.35 ERA. He is a veteran, as he is going to be 32 22 years old after the season. He was originally the 3rd overall pick in the 2009 NPB draft, and he is going to be taking over here. So he'll get as much time as he needs to warm up. He had a string of appearances between 2018 and 2021, where he appeared in over 30 ball games for the Buffaloes. He's got a lifetime 9-win and 20-loss record. The majority of his appearances have been out of the bullpen. So that is what we have here on In Relief. We've got our friend Walking Spotted Bear in here. We can tick him off for the attendance. We appreciate you for being here. Our friend Mick says, just imagine if the living room was able to do a pitcher prop just for homie to get you yanked. That would have been fantastic. Classic. So 3 balls and no strikes is what Yamada is going to inherit here. He wants a few more pitches, and he signals that he's ready to go. So after this unforeseen break, must be the curse of the jerseys. Those black and red jerseys are very, very interesting. Number 57 it is on the hill here. So Yamada is just completing his final tosses, and we're ready to get back at it. So now Nobuyushi Yamada on here in relief. Well, you had to know something was up. It was, I believe it was 15 balls and 13 strikes was the final line there for Takayasu. So here we go. We're ready to go back at it. 3 balls and no strikes to Kamikawa Kabata, and the pitch is ready to be delivered here as the lefty Yamada ready to go. And now he kicks and delivers. It is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is now 3-1. I started to talk about Kamikawa Kabata earlier in this at-bat, and we were saying that last year he had a really good rookie campaign. He played in 80 ball games. He had 261 at-bats, and he hit 291 as there's a fastball that misses outside. That's going to be ball 4. And Kamikawa Kabata is aboard with a base on balls. That is the 3rd walk of the ball game issued, and that will go to the starting pitcher, Takayasu. He also hit Matsumoto in the 1st inning. This year, as we said about Kamikawa Kabata, he's 108 points off the pace from last year. He's batting 183. Well, that's going to bring up Kota Yazawa to the plate. Yazawa batting 197. He's got a homer and 4 RBIs. As he hits here from the left side against the right-handed throwing, or left-handed throwing Yamada, and the pitch is on its way. It's a fastball that's taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. I have to tell you, that pitch there did not look as good as the one that was ball 4 to Kamikawa Kabata. So tonight in the Fighters lineup, there are some ugly-looking numbers. On the offensive side of things, we have 3 players that are hitting below the Mendoza line, 1 at the proverbial Mendoza line. There's a breaking ball that misses outside. The count is 1-1. Our friend BVP is in here as well. We welcome you. Our friend Mick points out that Kodai Senga got 12 strikeouts the other day. Kodai Senga is the glue that's holding that Mets staff together. I said at the beginning of the year, I wouldn't bat an eye if he won 17 games this year for the Mets. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away. The count is 1-2. The thing with Senga is he's new to the league, and he's going to get some opportunities to be able to do some things that they won't have caught on to him at this point. I would say the first couple of years, Senga should do quite well. Time he gets through the league for the 3rd time, they may catch up to him. But a nice, shrewd signing by the Mets in the offseason. So here comes the 1-2 pitch now to Yazawa. And he pitches a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is 2-2. BVP says, did you see that Bauer got sent down? I didn't see it, but it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me that he's got to work on a couple of things. Obviously, one of the things would be holding runners. They like to run on him. Maybe he's tipping something off here. Maybe he's tipping his pitches. He's maybe doing some other stuff. Here's the 2-2. It's a fastball swung on, and it's grounded foul down the third base line. One of the things I would say about Bauer, or at least my opinion is he got too cute with his pitches. His bread and butter pitch is his fastball. Hey, we got Steve Rademacher giving us a super chat. Thanks, Steve. We appreciate you for doing that. As I said about back to Bauer for a minute there, his first pitch fastballs and establishing his fastball was definitely not there. There was a fastball swung on. This ball is lined into left field. That's going to get down for a base hit. That's going to put runners at first and second now. And that'll bring up Ryohei Hasekawa. But back to that again, what I was mentioning is, or at least in my opinion, what I think is, I say important, but Bauer not establishing the fastball early in the count, not commanding either side of the plate, or for that matter, the four quadrants of the strike zone, and then using the breaking ball stuff. And, you know, when you're using the breaking balls in Japan, it is a breaking ball type of league. And that is where he got himself into a little bit of a problem, in my opinion. So I guess they're going to have to go back to ground zero and work out some kinks, and he won't be down that long, I would anticipate. Here comes the first offering to the batter. Oh, they got themselves into some trouble, did the Fighters. Oh, boy. So it is Hasekawa who's at the plate here. He squared the bunt. The pitch was taken, and Wakatsuki fired down to second base to try to get Kamikawa Kabata. And I think they may have had him, but the shortstop, Kitaro Kobayashi, dropped the ball. We're going to get a look at it again. The ball ended up down. Actually, the throw was not in a good place. It actually was into the left field side of second base. And they may have had a shot at getting him, but it ended up that Kobayashi dropped the ball. And so that is 1 ball and no strikes to Hasekawa. They were very lucky there. Hasekawa hitting a .111 with no homers and an RBI. And the pitch on the way, it's bunted down. They fielded by Yamada. He throws to third for the force. Not a very good bunt. So that's going to go down as a fielder's choice. It's going to race Kamikawa Kabata 2-5. He's gone for the first out of the inning. Yazawa advances to second. Hasekawa is safe at first. That's going to bring up the top of the order in Yuki Nomura. Well, for Nomura, he's 0 for 1 tonight. He grounded out on a 3-2 pitch back in the first inning. It was a ground out to second base. That was another thing about the starter Takasu tonight. He fell behind the first 2 hitters in the ball game where he folded the count up at 3-2. And he was just not able to get ahead of the count on many of the hitters tonight. And of course, the injury, and now he's out of the ball game. And there's a first pitch fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1 to Nomura. Nomura on the season is now batting .234 with those 5 homers and 19 RBIs. Batting from the right side against the left-handed throwing Yamada. Gets his side from the catcher Wakatsuki. Wakatsuki's had a pretty sound defensive season thus far for the Buffaloes. Here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball that's down. Good block there by the catcher. Runs the count to 1-1. When you think about it, Tomoya Mori breathing down your neck. Tonight he's the designated hitter, but Mori was very much a stalwart and a very solid defender for the Saitama Cebu Lions. They get to keep his bat in the order as a middle-of-the-order left-handed stick. And Wakatsuki doing more than an admirable job behind the plate. So 1 ball and 1 strike as the lefty Yamada holds set. He checks the runner at second and now delivers. It's a fastball swung on. This is lined over the head of the second baseman, Gibbo. It's going to get into the gap in right center field. It's up against the wall. Digging it out is Oda. He fires it back in, and that's going to get 2 runs across the plate as Yazawa scores, and all the way from first is Hasekawa coming home. Then the Fighters have jumped out to a 2-0 lead on a double by Yuki Nomura, and that is where we stand right now. So they've got a runner now at second. They've plated 2. There's 1 gone here, and that's going to bring up Takuya Nakashima. Well, for Nakashima, he walked his first time up, but he was caught stealing the first out of the inning in the first inning. But I'll tell you this. The Fighters seem to have the Buffaloes number. And you'd think about some of that stuff. Our friend, the living room, is pounding his chest about the CFL regular season. Not a sport. So here's the first offering. It's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Well, actually, it is a sport. It's not a legitimate one. No balls and 1 strike. Nakashima 1 for 5 on the season. Batting here from the left side against the lefty Yamada. As he kicks and delivers, there's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count now goes even at 1-1. Our friend Mick says that's why he stopped himself. Absolutely. 1 ball and 1 strike. And here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count now goes to 2-1. Mick says he was going to put some nickels down on Orix tonight. Well, there's nothing worse when the starting pitcher goes down in the second inning. And then they got to do a bit of a scramble job here to get their pitcher set. I wonder if they're going to do a full bullpen night or if they're going to try to ride Yamada for a little bit. Here's the 2-1. It's a fastball that's taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes it is. As we peek around the NPB, there are scores now in other ball games. 1-0 between the Giants and the Dragons as the Giants have jumped out on top. And the Marines have a 1-0 lead over the Eagles. That's in the bottom of the third inning. There was a fastball swung on and fouled away into the netting down the left field line. The count remains at 2-2. All the other games outside of this one have no score yet. When I saw this game tonight, I kind of cringed a little bit in terms of we haven't done many Fighters games this year. But as poorly as the Golden Eagles have been playing, although they have played a little bit better lately, there's a breaking ball swung on it. It's grounded foul down the first base line, and the count remains at 2-2. I don't know if I can continue to bring myself to keep calling Golden Eagle games at this point. And despite the fact that the Fighters aren't very good, they do deserve to at least get the call once in a blue moon on the channel. Maybe more so than the Eagles. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Nakashima as he bats here with the runner Nomura at second base and 1 away. As the lefty holds set, he checks the runner and now delivers. It's a fastball swung on it. It's grounded over to second. Gibbo plays basketball with it in the infield. Finally, on the second hop, he picks it up and then he fires it over to first. Oh, that's not exactly looking like it is a smooth transition there for the Buffaloes second baseman, but it is a ground out 4-3 nonetheless. Nakashima gone for the second out. Nomura advances over to third, and that is going to bring up the designated hitter, Go Matsumoto. Well, for Matsumoto tonight, he is officially 0-0 because he was hit by a pitch his first time up. Mick said he was going to do Orix, Marines, and Giants. He said Marines were a 150 underdog before the first pitch. There's the offering from the lefty Yamada. It's a breaking ball that misses up and in for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. Matsumoto batting .311 on the season with the homer and 12 RBIs. Nice table setter at the top of the order. They just need some batters to be able to drive them in and bring them around. Matsumoto, as we said last year, won the batting championship in the Pacific League. Here's the 1-0. It's a fastball that misses upstairs. The count goes to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. We are going to do the Lions and the Hawks tomorrow night. That was the game that we originally had planned on doing. So Lions and Hawks tomorrow. So hopefully if you're around, come on in and join us. It'll go off at the PayPay Dome. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. Samoto does a 180 in the box. I think he wanted that pitch back. There's a nice pitch on the middle away portion of the plate. Would have been well on to be able to drive into right field. And Mick says for their recent wins, he's a bit surprised that they were underdogs in that one. Here comes the 2-1 as the lefty delivers. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count goes to 2-2. I guess I'd have to take a peek and see who they were sending to the hill tonight, or at least who the Eagles were. The Marines were sending Yuji Nishino to the hill, who's 4-1 against Takahiro Norimoto, who's 1-2. If I remember correctly, Norimoto had that no-hitter going into the 9th inning last weekend when there was, 2 out or 1 out, and then it had broken up. So Norimoto, maybe they thought, is on form. There's a fastball that misses up and away, and the count now goes to 3-2 on Matsumoto. As I said, interesting that Bauer gets sent down. If that is correct, I'll look to see if I can verify that, but I don't dispute BVP. He's pretty much on song. His information. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. It's a fastball swung on. This is fouled away down the right field line. It keeps the count at 3-2. Already 26 pitches here for Yamada, so not exactly a brilliant performance by either of the Buffalo pitchers in the first 2 innings. You got to think that it was 28 pitches delivered by the starter Takasu, and now 26 by Yamada, so 54 pitches, and we're not even done the second inning yet. Here's the 3-2. And it is a fastball that misses up and away. That's going to be ball 4 to Matsumoto. He's going to get himself a walk. That's going to put runners on the corners, and it's going to bring Ariel Martinez to the plate. And it's going to bring the pitching coach out of the Buffaloes dugout on a trot to the hill. So he's going to come out and try to settle his reliever down. Not sure exactly who the pitching coach is. They say it's Mamoru Kishida. Kishida wears number 71. I thought it was 72, but it looks like it is somebody different here. I'm not 100% sure if this is who the coach is. That they have a traveling coach. They have different ones, but I do not see number 72 on my roster. It's like it said Hari on the back of the jersey. Well, runners are at the corners with 2 dead here in the second inning. The Fighters have themselves a 2-0 lead. Friend BVP said he saw it on Sanspo. Mick says he might say something on his YouTube channel. Yeah, it seems like his productions are about 3 or 4 days behind in some cases. BVP says they may want to make an adjustment start on the farm, and that's not the worst thing. There's a fastball that misses in the count as 1-0. Certainly the last start against the Carp, when he was pitching, it almost looked like the Carp hitters knew what it was coming. I remember that exhibition game a few years ago when Bauer was telling the hitters what was coming and they still couldn't hit him. Well, they knew what was coming, and they were sure hitting them the other night. There's a fastball swung on. This ball has popped up into shallow right center field. Coming in on it is the center fielder, Nakagawa. He's going to make the catch. That's going to retire Martinez for the 3rd out of the inning, but not until the Fighters got themselves a couple of runs. There was 2 runs in the inning on the benefit of 2 hits. There was no errors, and there were 2 runners left aboard. We are now going to the bottom of the second inning. Your score is the Fighters 2, the Buffaloes no score. We'll be back here in just a couple moments. We appreciate everybody for dropping in here with us tonight. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 5, 6, and 7 hitters to come to bat. That means Tongu, Oda, and Wakatsuki. You face Koki Kitayama. Just saying, one of the things our friend that Mick says, he thinks they're going to play the bullpen game. While the way that Yamada started there in that inning of work, one would have to think that that might be on the docket. A little bit longer in between innings here tonight for both of these teams. It was, we said we had a bit of a late start, and now it is just seemingly a little bit slower on the in-between. Normally we can project our in-between inning music and all that sort of stuff, but not tonight. It has been one of those nights where we are a little bit behind, it seems like, on every facet. Well, that is going to be Tongu, Oda, and Wakatsuki to come to bat here in the bottom half of the second inning. For Tongu, he's hitting .330 on the season, having a great year with 1 homer and 10 RBIs. The first pitch is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. We were doing that game earlier in the year where it was a very scary scene when Tongu got hit in the head in Tohoku. He had to be taken off on a bodyboard. There is a breaking ball that misses upstairs. The count is 1-1. One of the things that I found fascinating is when they were carrying off on the bodyboard, they also had a few extra people that were shading the players, so not to the audience, so they couldn't see the player couldn't see everybody else. There's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count is now 2-1. It's something you certainly don't see in North America. Every time I think of players being carted off of the field, I think of Mike Modano of the Dallas Stars years ago. Here's the 2-1 pitch. There's a fastball that misses upstairs. It's now 3-1. And Modano was being put onto the ambulance in the tunnel under the stadium, and he slid off the gurney, and they dropped him. They had him on a neck board and everything, and he ended up getting slid off the board. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is now 3-2. And I mean, I hate to make light of the fact that somebody was seriously injured, but you're just shaking your head saying, here you're taking all these great precautions to strap him to the board, put his neck stabilized. The next thing you know, you're loading him on the ambulance, and he slides off the board. Head first, nonetheless. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. As the pitch is on the way, and there's a fastball that misses outside. It's going to be ball 4. That's the first walk given up here tonight by the right-hander Kitayama. As we said at the outset, this is going to be an area of concern for the Fighters, as he, entering the ball game tonight, had 10 walks in 14 innings. Now you can make it 11 in 15 plus. So Tongu is the runner at first. That brings Yuya Oda to the plate. Friend Mick says, I've done that on MLB The Show. After I get a good win with his Mets, I double up on the starter. I have to ask you, Mick, and I apologize for this. Did you send me a link to one of the YouTube things, or I think maybe one of the games he was playing? There was a fastball swung on, and it's lifted foul into the seats. The count is 0-1 to Oda. Oda batting .364 on the year with a homer and 5 RBIs. Having himself a good season and limited bats. Our other friend, Shotgun Shell, who jumps in here, he'd sent me something too, but I'm having a little bit of a problem getting it over onto my other computer after I convert it into an MP4 file. So hopefully we'll have another commercial for you there as we move along, as the fastball misses outside and the count goes even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Oda. Runner at first is Tongu. Nobody out here in the bottom of the second inning. 1 ball and 1 strike as the catcher Wakatsuki waits on deck. Here's the pitch to Oda. It's a breaking ball that misses outside. The count now goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Anticipate that not it's just tomorrow night, but we are going to call some midweek games again next week. But I have to tell you, that was a bit of a slog midweek when we did a couple there. Here's the pitch. It is a fastball taken for a called strike. And the count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Yuya Oda. Oda hitting .364, as we said, entering the ball game tonight. There's a fastball swung on, but he's jammed. He pops it up on the infield. Coming in underneath it and making the catch is the second baseman. That's Nakashima, and he's going to make that grab. That is going to retire him. So Oda gone for the first out of the inning. That's going to bring up the catcher, Kenya Wakatsuki. Friend Mick says, yeah, it was a link that he sent over. I'll be sure to check that out, Mick. Get a good kick out of that. So here comes the offering from the right-hander to Wakatsuki. He takes a first pitch fastball for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. No balls and one strike. Walking Spotted Bear asked the question, what was the pregame money line odds here? That I don't know. Maybe the living room would chime in if he can recall. I know a couple of people said that, I think maybe even Walking Spotted Bear said this game was off for a while. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is 0-2. You often wonder sometimes if the bookies know stuff that, well, I would say no information that the general public is not privy to. So no balls and two strikes here to Wakatsuki, because it makes you wonder a little bit on sometimes the decisions on why stuff is where they're at or why the odds are where they are. 0-2 on the way. It's a fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats down the first base line. Count remains at 0-2. Walking Spotted Bear says, I'm gathering the Fighters are bad. The Fighters are no longer in last place. They are not a great ball club, that is for sure. You know, even over the last couple of years, some of the moves that they had made, I mean, they sent Kosuke Kondo, their star outfielder, to the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks in the offseason. There's a fastball that this is inside. The count is now 1-2. Fighters, when you think about it, they built this brand new stadium, but in the process of doing it, they had sold off 3 of their star pitchers over the last 15 years. Yu Darvish is one. The other one was Shohei Ohtani, and of course Kohei Arihara, who had a failed short tenure with the Texas Rangers. There's a breaking ball waved at and missed, and Wakatsuki is down on strikes. He's gone for out number 2. So 2 gone. But that's why I say sometimes with the Fighters here, and they're not exactly, they're probably a good 2 or 3 years away from being a solid competitive team again. Kind of let your team get run into the ground. Don't spend money on the players. Invest the money into the stadium. Build your new stadium. And then at this point in time, now they've got to start building towards a winner again. Here comes the pitch. It's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. They used to play their home games at the Sapporo Dome. Sapporo Dome was probably a combination of the Kingdome and Metrodome, a dome that maybe should have been imploded a number of years ago. They've got that beautiful new field at Escon Field. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into left field. Coming hard is Alcantara. He's going to make the catch. That is hip, and that is going to do it. Gibbo almost had a chance for it to bleed in, and that will do it here for out number 3. They had no runs in the inning. There's no hits, no errors, but there was a runner left aboard. We are now through 2 complete. Your score is the Fighters 2 and the Buffaloes 0. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be back with the top of the 3rd inning when we return after this. Appreciate y'all for being with us.
But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, maybe you'll get sick of being the monster out of my head, under my bed. Think you're something out of my nightmares, standing right there. But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, then will you get bored of killing me?
Silhouettes of you are like a taunt. Never really know just what you want.
2-0, everybody. We'll be back in just a few. We appreciate everybody for jumping on in here with us tonight. Here's our friend Steve.
This is Steve Rademacher, and I'd like to introduce you to my channel if you haven't seen it before. These are all the things I enjoy: sports, autographs, relics, non-sports Hall of Famers, pseudo-sports, Star Wars. That's my channel name and my name. And I would really appreciate it if you would come check me out and maybe even subscribe if you like it. Thank you for that for now, and back to your ball game.
Appreciate it, Steve, and the support you give to our channel. And in turn, we support Steve Rademacher. Be sure after the game to go check him out. Well, it looks like Yamada is going to come on back out for his second inning of work. He was in a bit of a hurry here to get himself warmed up as the starter Daichi Takasu had left the ball game because of an injury, and Yamada had come in to take over. Yamada had a bit of a struggle there in the first inning. He came in or his first inning of work. He will be charged with both of those runs. They are counted to him. So he is going to be facing, it's going to be Chusei Manami as Arizmendi Alcantara and Daigo Kamikawa Kabata. The first pitch is a fastball that misses upstairs for a ball, and the count is 1-0. Friend Walking Spotted Bear says he sprinkled the Fighters 1.5 earlier when things were going south in Orix, and Fred made a remark about the Fighters having Orix's number. Yeah, they seem to have that. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed. Every time that we watch the Fighters, and of course that happened last night, they just seem to, for whatever reason, play them better than maybe they should. There's always one team that seems to have somebody else's number. As there is a fastball that misses outside, the count goes to 2-1. Our friend Walking Spotted Bear says, I'm not in eating this as pizza money. Yeah, possibly so. Living Room's daily predictions have been posted. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep center field. Racing back on the warning track is Nakagawa, but he's going to have room to haul it in. And that is going to retire Manami for the first out of the inning, and that's going to bring up the left fielder, Arizmendi Alcantara. One of the things that is kind of good to look at, if you guys get a chance, I know we're toward the end of the week, so you'd have to cycle back, is the fella at NPB Reddit, especially on his Twitter page. He posts up the head-to-head records of these teams. So I'm saying that a bit off the, I don't want to say off the cuff, but it's certainly something that it's worth taking a look at. The first pitch to Alcantara is a fastball swung on and missed, and the count is 0-1. That's only because of my own recollection. But if I look at the team-by-team matchup, you can do that because they have that here. Team-by-team, the Buffaloes and the Fighters. Fighters, after last night's ball game, are 4-2 against the Buffaloes this year, as that fastball misses, and the count is now 1-1. Small sample size, but not too shabby. And when you start looking at the favorable matchups, as the lefty delivers, it's a fastball that misses down and in. One of the best records right now, the Bay Stars are 5-0 against the Dragons on the season. Swallows are 6-2 against the Dragons. Start looking at some of that stuff. Tigers are 6-2 against the Bay Stars, whereas the Carp are 6-3 against the Yomiuri Giants. Here's the 2-1 pitch. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into right field. Moving over underneath it with plenty of room and space is the right fielder Oda, who makes the grab, and that's going to be 2 away here for the Fighters. In the Pacific League, teams that are what I would call maybe owning their opponent, the Chibalote Marines, are 6-2 against the Fighters. So that would be, I guess, one spot where you'd say that they're owning them. Lions are 1-3 against the Hawks. Or is it the other way around? Let's take a look there. So it looks like Lions are 3-1 against the Hawks. Here's the pitch. It is a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0. But of course, once you get a little bit more into the season, you start to see some more of those head-to-head records, how they do against one another. And as we say, sometimes there are teams that have no business having a number against somebody else. There's a fastball that swung on and fouled away, and the count now is 1-1 to Kamikawa Kabata. I wonder if you could get an Otani jersey with these jerseys on it. Our friend BVP says these jerseys are growing on him. Might be a fungus that's growing on you, BVP, maybe not necessarily the jerseys. Here's the 1-1 pitch. It's a fastball swung on. It's grounded up the middle. It is fielded by Kobayashi. He throws across the diamond, and that is going to retire Kamikawa Kabata on a ground out 6-3 for the third out of the inning. And that's going to do it here, everybody. We had no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. And that is going to move to the bottom of the third inning. Your score is 2-0 for the Fighters. We'll be right back after this as we got to catch up on our chat on the in-between. Here's our friend Steve Rademacher.
Hello, guys. Thank you for joining Freddie here on his baseball game. And I'm Steve Rademacher, and my channel is really all about everybody, including all my international friends. We have such stuff as non-sport packs from Canada, the OP Cheese. We have the Greek Freak. We have money from around the world. We have Lira. We have Yen. We have francs. We have pounds. We have Deutschmarks. We have all kinds of cool stuff like that. We even have some cooler things like Japanese women wrestlers and OPC baseball cards where I cannot read the back. We even have unopened material like the royal family, I know it's backwards, from London, England. Thank you for watching. Back to Freddie.
Appreciate you, Steve, and the support you give to our channel. And in turn, we support Steve Rademacher. Just catching back up on the chat. Our friend BVP says the Bay Stars feel winless against the Tigers. And that's maybe sometimes how it feels. Mick says that he wants to get himself an Otani Fighters jersey. Maybe when they come to play the Rockies, he can get an autograph. Well, maybe if you want to get the Fighters jersey of Otani with these red uniforms, you can walk around with that cool collar. We also have our friend Walking Spotted Bear says, you guys see the Rangers jerseys tonight. They're awful. The Reds had a cool one, though. Haven't seen the City Connect I've seen the City Connect of the Rangers. Yeah, it's a little suspect. Not seeing the Reds. Here comes the pitch. It is a breaking ball that misses upstairs. The count is 1-0. BVP said, I once saw Shinjo in the new Threads. It was sold. I was sold. Well, maybe with the black mask to go with it. There's a breaking ball that misses up and away, and the count now goes to 2-0 on Kobayashi. Kotaro Kobayashi batting here against the right-hander Kitayama, hitting .250 on the year with a homer and 9 RBIs. As the right-hander delivers a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count goes to 3-0. I mentioned earlier in the stream that I checked in on the Tigers and Nationals tonight. I was watching a little bit of that. Wonder if Alexander Leggett made it to the game. It was 8-0 Detroit when I turned it off. Then turned it on to check the final, and they held on to win 8-6. There's a fastball ticket for a called strike. The count is 3-1. Painful to watch some of that stuff, especially when Matt Boyd had a no-hitter going into the sixth, and then you just collapse. There's a fastball swung on. It is popped up over on the first base side, giving chase over by the camera well is the first baseman Nomura, and he's going to haul it in as Kobayashi is going to be retired for the first out of the inning. So one gone, and that's going to bring up the top of the order in Shuhei Fukuda. Well, Fukuda steps to the plate. He is 0 for 1 tonight. He's grounded out to the second baseman his first time up. So Fukuda coming to bat here with one gone in the third inning. Getting myself prepared for Japan. As there's a fastball that misses outside. The count is 1-0. Friend BVP says no Alexander Leggett in the stream tonight doesn't feel right. Yeah, we'll have to let him know. Here comes the pitch. It's a fastball that misses outside. The count is 2-0. I wonder if he was at the game, though, in Washington. If he was probably having a couple of those type of things. We're going to have to ban the living room from the chat. He keeps throwing out frivolous assaults on some of the other members. There's a fastball ticket for a called strike. The count is now 2-1. living room not comfortable in his own skin when he makes his picks. Here comes the 2-1 pitch as the right-hander kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses outside. The count is 3-1. When you have a rival that can match you and then some, BVP says he's cheating. Yeah, exactly. 3 balls and 1 strike as the righty holds set. Now kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that's taken at the knees for a called strike, and the count now runs full to Fukuda. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. So I don't understand what's he supposed to do if he tails your picks. He posts the picks, and he posts the comment. As that fastball is swung on and lifted foul down the third base line. Count remains at 3-2. Mick is refereeing the fight. He's going to have to give the living room a standing 8 count over there. He's been hit a couple of times, too many in the head. Eyes are spinning. Smoke's coming out the ears. Here comes the 3-2 now. As Fukuda is waiting here on the offering from the right-hander Kitayama, and it is a fastball that misses upstairs. That's going to be ball 4. And that is going to be a walk here to Fukuda. That's going to put him on. We talked about the walks from Kitayama. Kitayama, 2 walks now here tonight in 2 1/3 innings of work. That's going to bring up the third baseman, Masahiro Nishino. Well, Nishino, his first time up, he had a base hit. He was stranded at first. So he bats here with 1 on and 1 out in the 3rd inning. Nishino getting the start at third base tonight. As we said, a bit of a makeshift Buffalo lineup as Mick's counting them out. As the right-hander holds set and now delivers, squaring to bunt. As Nishino, it's a good one. He gets it down. The pitcher, Kitayama, fields it. He throws to first. And Nishino is going to be out. That's going to be a sacrifice. That's going to go in the books as 1-4 for the second out of the inning. And that's going to leave it up to the center fielder, Kai Nakagawa. It says the living room stands up and shakes it off. You might want to give him another one there, Mick. He's still in shell shock, as I told him that Matthew Tkachuk was going to score the overtime goal in the hockey game last night. And what do you know? With 12 seconds left in that 4th overtime, it was Tkachuk who did the damage. So the living room is still spinning from last night's unbelievable call from Last Raps Baseball. So Nakagawa stepping to the plate. He's 0 for 1 tonight. He has popped to the catcher his first time up. He's batting .271 on the season. As he kicks and delivers, and there's a breaking ball that's down. They appeal over to the first base umpire, but they don't need to because it looked like the home plate umpire went up with the right hand anyway. 1-1 to Nakagawa. BVP says he picked that Tkachuk. I had Burns for Carolina. I said if Burns is going to score for Carolina or Tkachuk was going to do it for Florida. And pretty amazing with 12 seconds left in the period. It could have went to number 5. Here's the 0-1. It's a breaking ball swung on and grounded foul just past the bag at third base. Runs the count to 0-2. Nakagawa to be followed by Tomoya Mori here. BVP says, happy to hear that the Knights got the win tonight. Heard it was Martinook. I don't know. I didn't catch anything at all in the hockey. Been fading basketball and hockey this postseason. Even though the Leafs were in the playoffs, I only watched about a period of their playoff run. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. It's on the way. It's a fastball taken for a called third strike. Nakagawa stood there like the house by the side of the road, watched it go by. He's gone for out number 3. And that is going to do it here for the Buffaloes in their half of the 3rd inning. There was no runs, no hits, no errors. 1 runner left aboard. We're through 3 complete. It is the Fighters 2, the Buffaloes no score. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments. We appreciate you guys for jumping in here with us tonight. We'll be right back after this.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. If you want to learn about Japanese baseball, see Coach Fred with Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Raps Baseball, we know baseball. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving ourselves to the top of the fourth inning. It'll be Yazawa, Hasakawa, and the top of the order, Nomura, to come to bat for the Fighters, as they are going to be facing I think they're still going to be facing Yamada, the lefty. We'll just do a double check on that, or if the Buffaloes are going to continue a bullpen night here, so to speak, tonight. The starter, Takasu, had to exit the ball game early via an injury, as Yamada had come in to replace him, and that is exactly who's going to stay in the ballgame here. They're going to have to take the bullet somewhere. It looks like Yamada is the guy. There's our friend Alexander Leggett. He is checked in here tonight, and undrafted player in the house tonight, too. We welcome everybody here. We were just talking about Alexander Leggett a bit ago, and we were saying it doesn't quite feel the same in the chat without him. I think that was BVP who commented on that. There's a first pitch that is taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Alexander Leggett probably stumbling home from the Washington-Detroit game, as there's a ground ball over to second, fielded by Gibbo. He throws to first. And Yazawa is retired on a ground out 4-3 for the first out of the inning. And that is going to bring up the third baseman, Ryohei Hasakawa. On top of that, Alexander Leggett was being called a cheater by the living room. Living room was probably ducking for cover at this point. As Nakajima has come out of the dugout, it looks like we may have ourselves a change here. So only one batter there to face, and it looks like Yamada's night is done. Let's just take a look here and see what's going on. We are going to get ourselves a call to the bullpen. That was a little bit strange that they would just go with one batter and then they would roll them right out. Still early enough in the ball game, but that is going to be it. Yamada's night is over. He is finished, as he had worked a couple of innings, 2+ innings of relief. And that is going to be Hasakawa coming to bat, then the top of the order. So hang tight, everybody. We got a pitching change. We'll be back in just a moment. Alexander Leggett is going to get his boxing trunks on, and the living room is going to get the towel out for himself. So if he ends up on the canvas, we will have somebody to help pick him off. We'll be right back here in just a couple moments. Appreciate you guys for all listening in.
Hey guys, while the manager's searching for a relief pitcher, let me help you with some relief channels. On top of mine and Freddy's, you can always check out Redbeard Breaks, Zero Fox Sports. You know another Hollis build, check them out again. Maybe Beast and Beauty Breaks, or even Dab's Family. Oh, looks like they have their pitcher, so after the game, check out some other videos by Freddy. They're fun, they're cool. Enjoy the game, peace out, and cheers!
Welcome back, everybody. It is a sidewinder coming into the game. The third pitcher now used by the Buffaloes tonight. It's going to be Ryota Muranishi, as he is going to be taking over here. So Muranishi is going to be making his fourth appearance of the year, as he delivered the first pitch fastball to Hasakawa for a called strike. The count is 0-1. He is 0-1 on the season. He's worked 6 1/3 innings. He's allowed 3 hits. He's walked 4 and struck out 2. He has a fluffed up ERA of 5.68. There's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-1. And I don't think the catcher Wakatsuki nor the pitcher like the call from the home plate umpire. That's one thing with the home plate umpire, has been missing pitches up both balls and strikes. And there's a breaking ball that floats in for a called strike. The count is now 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is. That's it. We're going to have to make a boxing channel here to be able to call the scrap. So there's a fastball that swung on and tap foul over on the first base side. Alexander Leggett says 12 rounds, keep it clean. I just don't think the fight would go 12 rounds. I know for a fact that if you jog around the ring, Alexander, for a few of those rounds, the living room won't be able to keep up and catch you. He doesn't have the fitness level to do it. There's a fastball that's swung on and fouled away. Miles Lane will come out of retirement, although I think it was Mills Lane, who passed away recently. Rest his soul. There's a fastball taken for a called third strike, and Hasakawa watched that one go by for out number 2. That's going to bring the top of the order in Yuhei Nomura to the plate. Maybe we'll get a Rademacher commercial out of something like that where he can take the cheerleaders with him. We'll be able to do that. Or maybe a Rademacher commercial from the keyhole with one of the ladies there behind the bar serving the drinks. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. There's a fastball that just misses. The count goes to 1-1. I saw a compilation yesterday of all the different side jabs that Norm on Cheers would say when he came into the bar. There's a fastball swung on it. It's grounded through the 6-hole into left field. That is going to be a base hit here for Nomura. So Nomura is aboard with a single, and that is going to bring up the second baseman, Takuya Nakashima. Alexander said the Detroit game was something else today. Dogs in the stands for pups at the park. I was going to go down next week and see the Athletics and the Mariners, but they've got the Bark at the Park night in Seattle, and I think I'm going to pass on that one. I think I'm going to give my cat a flea bath instead, but I have to buy a cat first. I just don't see that happening. Here's the first pitch now delivered to the left-handed hitting Nakashima. Is a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. 2 gone here in the top of the 4th inning with the runner Nomura at first. And here comes the offering now as it is a fastball swung on. It is lifted into shallow right field. Now drifting back a little bit is the right fielder Oda. And that is going to do it here, as that is going to end the inning. So no runs in the inning. There was 1 hit. There was no errors, and there was 1 runner left aboard. We are now moving to the bottom of the 4th inning. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back here in just a couple minutes. Appreciate you guys for being here with us. We'll be right back after this.
Thank you, Freddie. Appreciate your support and everybody out there. Steve again here, obviously, with the Milwaukee Brewers. Of course, we have Bernie Brewer on my favorite beverage of choice right there, along with a card of Bernie. Yay! Now, we got some special guests here. I'm not just talking about our Hall of Fame lineup. I must be in the front row. Hey, come on there, Robin. I got 3,000 hits. What do you have? Well, I was the all-time saves leader, and I got 1.5 feet on you. Okay, Raleigh, settle down, buddy. Now, none of this could be possible without Harvey's Wallbangers. There's Harvey. And who could forget the Fonz? Hey.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the heart of the Buffalo batting order to come to bat to face the right-hander Koki Kitayama. It'll be Mori, Tongu, and Oda to begin the 4th inning here. Our friend Mick says, where are we at? Yeah, we're about 3 hours away to Seattle, depending on traffic, depending on the time of the day. So instead, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get down to see the Yankees on the 31st, Wednesday the 31st, to see the Yanks and the Mariners. That's on the docket. So looking forward to being able to get to that affair. So Mori, Tongu, and Oda to come to bat here. As it is going to be the second plate appearance of the ball game here for Maury. He is 0 for 1 tonight. He flew out to the left fielder his first time up. Buffaloes looking to claw their way onto the scoreboard tonight. First pitch is a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is 0-1. As I mentioned before, no Schwindel, no Gonzalez, no Sugimoto, no Mune. There's a lot of not much stuff in the lineup here tonight for the Buffaloes. You take 4 prominent bats out of their batting order and really weaken the group pretty quickly. Here comes the 0-1. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count now goes to 0-2. And I think that if we knew the batting order 3 hours before the game, that might make a decision for a lot of other people. But when you only get it 50 minutes beforehand, where it's publicly posted on the NPB site, I wonder if that has anything to do with it being taken off of the line. So here comes the 0-2 pitch. As the pitch is on the way, it's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away. And the count remains 0-2 to Maury. Alexander says he's got 2 middle-aged dogs. Alexander says Schwindel is out. Schwindel, I don't know if he's a regular. He's not in the lineup tonight. Anytime we've called the Buffaloes over the last couple of weeks, it's been hit and miss whether he's been in the lineup or not. Here's the 0-2. There's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count is 1-2. The one that's maybe more of a surprise not in the lineup tonight is Marwin Gonzalez. He's been pretty much a regular, although he's been moved around all over the place. We've seen him at first, second, short, third. We haven't seen him in the outfield yet, but I'm sure that's coming. So 1 ball and 2 strikes here to Maury. The right-hander kicks and delivers. It is a split finger pitch, swung on and missed. And they are going to throw down to first base, and that is going to retire Maury on a strikeout 2-3 for the first out of the inning. It's going to bring up the first baseman, Yuma Tongu. Our friend Mick says the odds, depending on the book, will change when the lineup drops. Yeah, that's a good point, Mick. You got to hit the lines about 5 minutes before game time. Gavo says the Marwin Gonzalez. Yep, that's exactly what it is. Marwin Gonzalez, who's had a decent year so far for the Buffaloes. First pitch is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1 to Yuma Tongu. Tongu tonight walked his first time up. I'm enjoying a nice season, hitting .330, homer and 10 RBIs. And here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball swung on and missed. Now the count is 0-2. Our friend BVP says Gazelman hung one and the Swallows tied it up 2-2 on a long home run. I still think the Bay Stars are going to be the odds-on favorite to win that. Even with the addition of Bauer, Bauer is going to, all that pomp and circumstance, once he settles down, he'll be steady Eddie for him. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is going to be looped over the head of the first baseman, Nomura, and it's going to get down for a base hit. Tongu is going to hold on at first with the single. As they had to track that one down, it's going to be a base hit here for Tongu. That was an 0-2 pitch. It was a breaking ball down and away. He just threw his bat at it, and it golfed it over the head of the first baseman, Nomura. Nomura gave chase on it, and it was just out of his reach. Ended up getting down and slicing into the corner, where it was retrieved by the right fielder, Manami. But Tongu aboard with a 1-out single, and that's going to bring up the right fielder, Yuya Oda. Well, Oda tonight is 0 for 1. He lined out to the second baseman his first time up. As he waits here on the offering from the right-hander, Kiriyama. Kicks and delivers a fastball. This ball is swung on. It's driven into the oppo gap. But there's space as it's going to be run down by the center fielder, Yazawa. And that is going to retire Oda for the second out of the inning. It's going to leave it all up to the catcher, Kenya Wakatsuki. Well, for Wakatsuki tonight, he's 0 for 1. He struck out his first time up. He bats here with Tongu on first and 2 away in the bottom of the fourth inning. The game now has picked up the pace a little bit. That was first inning and change with the pitching change and the injury. It just seemed like we were going to be on here forever. But that is not the case now. So Wakatsuki batting from the right side against the right-handed throwing Kitayama, who kicks and delivers a breaking ball that is down, but the home plate umpire says that Wakatsuki had went around and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Right-handed hitting Wakatsuki here, waiting on the offering from the right-handed throwing Kitayama. Kitayama throws over to first, and getting back in time safely is the runner Tongu. Kitayama due for another walk here to keep up his pace of walks. Here comes the 0-1 offering as the right-hander set now delivers. It's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep left field. Giving chase, looking up. If it stays fair, it's going to be trouble, and it's just going to hook foul. Oh, Wakatsuki hit that one a mile. But that ball just hooked to the left of the foul pole. That's going to run the count now to 0-2. Alexander says, I'm kind of hoping the Swallows. He says he's a bit of a Swallows fan, if anything. Well, did my bookings for my Tokyo hotels, so I've got that all set. Staying in the similar area to where I stayed the last time, not at the same hotel. I hope the hotel I go back to, I can get some information on it to see if it's still in operation. It's now an Almont property, from what I understand, as that fastball misses down in the way, and the count is 1-2. So Tokyo is taken care of. My next journey, I've got to sort out if I'm going to stay in Osaka or if I'm going to stay in somewhere else. Alexander says, have I been before? This will be number 3, third time. Fastball misses down and away, and the count now goes to 2-2. So we'll get a lot of live footage and different stuff put up. I think it'll be a lot of fun. Take you on the journey. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. As the right-hander holds set, and there's a breaking ball missing down and away, and the count now goes to 3-2 on Wakatsuki. Undrafted player says, yeah, you've planned your next journey in Japan. Yeah, we leave on the 19th of August, and we won't be back until about the 7th or 8th of September. I've never been to Korea before, so I took a 24-hour layover in Seoul. Here's the 3-2. It's a fastball that misses upstairs. That's going to be ball 4. Wakatsuki's aboard with a walk, and that's going to move Tongu over to second. Alexander Leggett says, with no Schwindel, wish I did my picks tonight. I guess we'll have to wait and see. It's going to be Sho Gibbo coming to the plate. He is 0 for 1 tonight. He lined out to the left fielder his first time up. I was curious to see how the Nationals and the Tigers are going to shape up. I think the Tigers take 2 out of 3 in that series. If it was in Detroit, I think the Tigers would sweep away the Nationals, but Tigers have got, probably by the end of June, they'll be over 500. They've got a really junky part of the schedule coming up with teams they face over the next 5 to 6 weeks. They could be playing 500 or better baseball. Once they get past that, it could be ugly for the rest of the way. Here's the first offering to Gibbo, and it's a fastball swung on and fouled away. Count is 0-1. Our friend Walking Spotted Bear says, Frank Schwindel in the NPB. Yes, it is. BVP says, Seoul's a great city, has a massive airport. He says it's about 45 minutes from the airport to downtown Seoul. So we'll be looking for some of that. Our friend Undrafted Player says, in watching your live, I'm doing the 2023 fan pack requests. That's awesome. So that fastball misses up and away, and the count now is 1-1. You know, I was thinking something that might be interesting for you there, Undrafted Player, is maybe when you write to the team, and maybe pick a player and say, my favorite player is so-and-so, or whoever it might be, and maybe they would send you something specific to that player. Sometimes do that. You could maybe say, hey, I like the Orix Buffaloes, and my favorite player is Kai Nakagawa. There's a fastball that swung on it, is lifted down the left field line. Moving over is the shortstop, Kamikawa Kabata. Is going to make the catch, and that is going to do it. And that is going to end the inning here for the Buffaloes. They go down in the inning. There were no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 2 runners left aboard. We're now through 4 complete. Your score is the Fighters 2 and the Buffaloes no score. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back in just a few. We'll be right back in a moment after this, and we'll talk about Seoul, South Korea.
This is Steve Rademacher, and I'd like to introduce you to my channel if you haven't seen it before. These are all the things I enjoy: sports, autographs, relics, non-sports Hall of Famers, pseudo-sports, Star Wars. That's my channel name and my name, and I would really appreciate it if you would come check me out and maybe even subscribe if you like it. Thank you for that for now, and back to your ball game.
Appreciate you, Steve, and the support you give to the channel. In turn, we support Steve. We'll be right back after this. Hang tight, everybody. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 3, 4, and 5 hitters to come to bat here for the Fighters in their half of the 5th inning. As it is going to be Matsumoto, Martinez, and Manami, the 3 M's for the Fighters. It is still going to be the reliever Ryota Marinishi on the hill. Let's see here. We have the first offering is a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0. I think our friend BVP says the layover. I've got actually about a 24-hour layover, in Seoul. There's a fastball swung on and missed. The count is 1-1 now to Matsumoto. Matsumoto tonight is officially 0 for 0. He's been hit by a pitch and he's drawn a walk. So back to BVP. I am planning on getting a hotel for the night and getting a chance to see Seoul for quite a bit the next day. There's a fastball lifted into right field, moving over underneath it and making the catch is the right fielder Oda, and that is a 1 away here in the 5th inning, and that'll bring up the catcher Ariel Martinez. So looking forward to maybe catching a couple things. I used to know a gal I went to a university with, and I sent her a message. I have heard back from her, but I haven't heard from her since she's close to being returning back to home. There's a fastball swung on and missed. The count is 0-1. She and her parents were touring in Italy as there's a fastball taken for a called strike, and now it's 0-2 to Martinez. The right-hander Marinishi wastes little time. Here's the 0-2 pitch. It's a breaking ball swung on and missed. That was quick work on Martinez. He goes down on 3 pitches, 1, 2, and 3 strikes. Just like that. That's going to bring up the right fielder, Chusei Manami. Anyways, my friend was with her parents in Italy, and she calls Seoul her home. So I try to connect with her and maybe get a quick tour if she's around. Be kind of a fun place. Frank Schwindel was a late bloomer to the big leagues, of course, with Oakland and Kansas City. And then, of course, they broke out with the Cubs as the first pitch breaking ball was taken for a called strike. And now it's a breaking ball that misses outside to Manami, and the count's 1-1. Wasting very little time is Marinishi as Manami asks for time. Now we're ready to go again. Here comes the 1-1. The pitch is a slow breaking ball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep left field. Going back on the track, looking up, and this one is gone. A home run by Chusei Manami. He reached out and yanked that one into the stands. That's going to be home run number 6 for him on the year. And that ball there is deposited in the first row of what we would call that second layer of seating. And that is going to put the Fighters up now 3-0. A solo shot by Manami, and that is now going to bring up the left fielder, Arizmendi Alcantara. Well, Alcantara stepping up to the plate here. He is officially 0 for 2 tonight. He's flown to left and flown to right. There's a breaking ball that floats up and in for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. Our friend Alexander says he tries to be good to every player, but certainly not to Irvin tonight. Mick says he needs a fan pack request for Orix and Hanshin, maybe even for his Korean teams as well. Here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball swung on and missed. The count now goes to 1-1. Our friend undrafted player says maybe he'll send a TTM request to Bauer. He asks, who's my favorite player? There's a fastball that misses down and away, and the count's now 2-1 to Alcantara. I would probably say the favorite Buffalo player, I like Tomoya Mori when he was with the Saitama Cebu Lions. There's a breaking ball taken for a called third strike, and that is going to retire Alcantara. He is gone looking here for out number 3, but they got a run in the inning on the solo shot by Manami. There was 1 run, 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left the board. Now moving to the bottom of the 5th inning, your score is the Fighters 3 and the Buffaloes no score. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be back in just a few. We'll catch back up on the chat after this. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Kitaro Kobayashi, then it'll be Shuhei Fukuda and Masahiro Nishino, the 9, 1, and 2 hitters to come to bat here for the Buffaloes. And that will be, as they're coming to bat here in the 5th inning. Our friend Alexander Leggett must be talking about cocktails because the Virgin Mary is not here tonight. That is for sure. We've got undrafted player says the next year I sent a TTM request to Yasiel Puig. Yeah, well, I think Yasiel Puig's got bigger issues than the TTM stuff right now. If he can even read his mail. Here comes the first pitch to Kitaro Kobayashi. It's a fastball that just misses upstairs. This is where the home plate umpire tonight has really squeezed the pitchers. Those belt-high pitches have been a little bit dicey. So 1 ball and no strikes. The pitch is on the way. It's a fastball that misses down for 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes to Kobayashi as he bats here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Buffaloes are looking to find a way to get onto the scoreboard here. As the 2-0 is on the way, it's a fastball that misses up, and the count now goes to 3-0. This has been the knock on the right-hander Kitayama. As we said, he entered the ball game tonight with 10 walks in 14 innings. Tonight he's been somewhat decent in that regard. He's only walked 3 in his 4 innings of work. So 13 walks in 18 innings on the season. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is now 3-1. Mick says, I still think he plays for the Kaiwoom Heroes. I think he's in jail right now or waiting to be charged back in the United States for match fixing. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 3-2. I think he needs to get on the phone to Pete Rose and discuss what he should and shouldn't say in the court of law. But there is a problem there with Yasiel Puig. I don't think he's ever going to play a game in North America at a professional level again, as that fastball swung on and fouled away. Count is 3-2, and I'd be surprised that even the Taiwanese league probably wouldn't even touch him. It's unfortunate because what a great talent that he was. Here's the 3-2 pitch to Kobayashi. As the right-hander holds to the set. And now delivers. And it is a fastball that just misses upstairs. That's going to be ball 4. Yet another walk given up here tonight. That's 4 now in 4+ innings. That is going to bring up Shuhei Fukuda to the plate. And what do you know? Fukuda also had a walk in the walk parade. He's 0 for 1 tonight with that one walk. As we said before, it's the kiss of death here for the right-hander Kitayama. Kitayama, though 14 innings and only allowed 4 hits. When you think about it tonight, he's only allowed 2 hits. So now he's at 18 innings and 6 hits allowed, but all his base runners are coming via the free pass. As here's the first offering to the left-handed hitting Shuhei Fukuda. It's a breaking ball that misses up and away for ball 1. Count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. I also noticed that as the others have entered the stream, the living room has run for cover, not wanting to engage in anything. It's kind of like the hit and run. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away. Living room sports comes in and hits you with the accusations, and then he runs for cover. Alexander Leggett says, not sure why you'd bother with match fixing when you get paid enough to buy a whole house every year on a AAA contract, let alone a major league one. Yeah, it's a good point. Here's the 1-1. It's a fastball swung on and it's lifted foul down the left field line. The count now goes to 1-2 on Fukuda. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Living room is probably still trying to figure out how he's going to make his counterattacks to everybody. Might have his picks already up for tomorrow night. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is. As the right-hander is leaning in to get his sign. Now he checks the runner at first base. And now the pitch is delivered. It's a fastball that misses upstairs. Count goes to 2-2. Actually, our friend BVP says every player has an extremely long last name. They've got both the first and the last names on the players' backs, which is kind of crazy because when you look at their jersey, the name starts halfway down the number, and then it's like a horseshoe around the top because they've got the last name and the first name on the back of the jersey. It's kind of interesting. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep right center field, but moving over is the center fielder Yazawa, who's going to haul that one in, and retreating back to first is Kobayashi. So Fukuda is gone for the first out of the inning, and that's going to bring up the third baseman, Masahiro Nishino. Living room says he's listening downstairs while throwing darts. Living room was throwing darts earlier in the chat. Just making sure that your penmanship on the computer here still works. He says he's taking his like back. Oh, that's what happens. So this brings up Nishino. He is 1 for 1 tonight. He's also got a sacrifice bunt. EVP says he didn't realize that Alcantara's on the Fighters. So many former Cubs in the NPB. Yeah, there's a couple other fellas that had their opportunities to go over there as well. There's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count is 1-0. I haven't checked on Rowan Wick lately. Rowan Wick is and the Cubs organization, spent most of the last 2 years at the big league level. I generally will see his dad at some point in the summer when we're doing some of our outdoor programming. And we'll get an update on what happened. He did not make the team out of spring training this year. Here's the 1-0 pitch. And there's a fastball, take it for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. One of the concerns that he had a couple of years ago was he was on a fringe situation whether he could play in the MLB or not. And it wasn't sure if he was going to get a job, and they were looking at the possibility of going over either to Korea or Japan or Taiwan on a contract. Because, if you're going to Korea, you're going to get yourself $750,000 or maybe even $1 million, not more than. There's a fastball swung on his grounded foul down the first base line. The count goes to 1-2. But he needed to get himself a bit of a payday. Malik jumps in here and asks the question, are the Bay Stars going to get this dub? Well, you're going to have to ask BVP on that one. He's got one eye on the Bay Stars, and he's got an ear on this game. BVP will let you know. Alexander says he just saw an American-looking cameraman on the stream. There you go. Others are taking their like back, too. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is driven into the right field corner. It's going to get down, and it's off the wall. Digging around second, heading for third is Kirby-Ashi, and they're going to throw on the brakes, as that is going to be a double for Nishino. And Kirby-Ashi is going to advance himself to third. That's going to put runners at second and third and one gone, as the Buffaloes have something going here in the bottom half of the fifth inning. And that is going to bring up the center fielder, Kai Nakagawa. That was a good piece of hitting there by Nishino. He really had to pull his hands inside the ball, as that pitch was a tough pitch to hit. It was knee high and inside. Yanks that ball into the corner down the right field line. So he's got his second hit of the ball game tonight. And Nakagawa striding the plate, who is 0 for 2. As we have a conference on the mound, as the pitching coach had come out for the Fighters. Now that conference is over, they'll start to go to work here on Nakagawa. Nakagawa entered the ball game hitting .273. His average has dropped to .269 with the 0 for 2 outing here so far. I have to tell you, Nakagawa, I like what he does sometimes at the plate. There's sometimes when we watch him and I think he gets on a roll. And there's other times it looks like he's absolutely clueless. And I think that this is kind of the spot where he's in right now. His average is dropping back away from the 300 mark for a bit. First pitch is a fastball that misses up and in, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. As a reminder, tomorrow night we will be back on the airwaves again. Hawks and Lions, 10 p.m. Pacific. 1 a.m. Eastern for all the action. If you can join us, we'd love to have you. Here's the 1-0 pitch. The right-hander checks the runners and now delivers. It's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count now goes to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. .79 pitches already here for the Fighters right-hander. They're sporting a 3-0 lead, but they are in trouble here as runners are at second and third with 1 gone in the bottom of the fifth inning. As the right-hander gets his sign from Ariel Martinez. So let's see what we have in store for him here. And here comes the 2-0. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away. The count now is 2-1 to Nakagawa. Our friend BVP says that Malik, he goes, we'll see. They're putting a lot of balls in play. But the batting average with balls in play is not working in their favor at the moment. On top of it, Gazelman scares him the third time through the order. That'll answer your question for you. So 2 balls and 1 strike as the right-hander works to the set position. Checks the runner at second. Checks him a couple of times, which is interesting that he's looking at the trail runner. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted into deep center field. That's probably deep enough to get the run in. Tagging at third is Kirby-Ashi. And they're going to hold the runner at second base. That's going to go a sacrifice fly. Caught by the center fielder. That's going to be an RBI for Nakagawa. It scores Kirbayashi from third. It holds the runner Nishino at second. They've cut into the Fighters' lead. It's now 3-1. That is going to bring up the designated hitter Tomoya Mori with 2 gone and a runner on second here. So I don't know what the over-under for the first 5 was, but Mori here at the plate has a chance to make it a 3-2 ball game if he can get himself a base knock here. Mori tonight has struck out and has lined out to left field. That's where he put his 0 for 2 at. Waits here on the offering from the right-hander Kitayama. First pitch is a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Gearing up for Japan, we picked up a kind of an interesting sponge cake tonight at the Japanese grocery store. It was a matcha sponge cake with red bean in it. Interesting flavor, a little bit of whipped cream in the center. I guess whipped cream or some sort of type of cream filling. Here comes the 0-1 pitch as the right-hander holds set. He looks at the runner at second and now delivers. It's a fastball swung on it. It's tapped slowly over to short, fielded by Kamikawa Kabata. He throws to first, and that is going to retire Mori on a ground out 6-3 for the third out of the inning. And that is going to do it. There was 1 run in the inning on the benefit of 1 hit. There was no errors and 1 runner left the board. We are now through 5 complete innings. It is the Fighters 3 and the Buffaloes 1. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be back here in just a few minutes with all the action. We are going to take our timeout, as we like to call this, our Japanese halftime. We're going to put the video on loop, and hopefully you guys will be right back after this break with us. 3-1 Fighters.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the top of the 6th inning in just a couple moments, but we are going to give you guys a quick peek at the out-of-town scoreboard. As it is going to be scores from around the league are updated. There is scoring everywhere except at the PayPay Dome. That game is 0-0 between the Hawks and the Lions. You could tell that game was going to be an interesting one. The Marines are continuing their solid play as they have a 6-1 lead over the Eagles. That's in the 7th inning in Tohoku. And there's also no score in the game between the Carp and the Tigers. That's in the bottom of the 7th inning. It's at the Koshin Stadium. 2-2 between the Swallows and the Bay Stars. That's in the bottom of the 5th. And in the bottom of the 6th inning, the Tokyo Dome, the Giants are have a 6-2 lead over the Chinichi Dragons. And that is where we have it here. We are definitely not doing tomorrow night's game between these two teams. It's a 9:00 start. We're not going to be back. The only game that we could do tomorrow night, and we are going to do, is the Hawks and the Lions. So we're excited to give you that one there. It is still going to be the right-hander Muranishi on the hill, as he is going to be facing the bottom third of the batting order. It's going to be Kamikawa Kabata, Yazawa, and Hosokawa to face the right-hander here, as he is going to begin his. He's already got in this ball game 2 2/3 or an inning and 2/3 of work under his belt. The first pitch is a slow breaking ball that catches the outside corner to Kamikawa Kabata, and it's taken for a called strike. Kamikawa Kabata 0 for 1 tonight. He's also drawn a walk as he takes a fastball upstairs for a ball, and the count is now 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike it is. There's a fastball swung on. It is grounded over to short. Kirbayashi fields it. He throws to first, and that is going to retire Kamikawa Kabata. 6-3 on the putout. So 1 up and 1 away, and that'll bring up Kota Yazawa. Our friend Mick says Walgreens uses that Ola song on their YouTube ad. And as Alexander Leggett points out, it's copyright-free music. That is correct. That's what we pretty much use across the board on our channel. There's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count is 1-0. And again, the right-hander goes back to work. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away. Don't get much time to talk when Muranishi is on the mound here. He just gets the ball and starts throwing. I was talking about this with my buddy the other day. We were talking about Alek Manoah of the Blue Jays. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and there's a breaking ball swung on and missed. The count is 1-2. Alek Manoah was not necessarily a fast worker, and with the speed up the game rules, there's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count is now 2-2. With the speed up the game rules, the big fella is huffing and puffing on the mound because he's got to work too quickly. Here's the 2-2 pitch. There's a fastball swung on. It is chopped over to third, fielded by the third baseman Nishino. They throw to first on a hop. The umpire says he's safe, but we're going to see here if the Buffaloes want a challenge. Let's see what's going to happen here. And maybe not. That ball was chopped. It looks like it's going to be an infield hit for Yazawa, his second hit of the ball game. That is going to bring up the third baseman, Ryohei Hosokawa. Our friend Alexander says, I'd rather bet on the Nats to every game and have him go 162-0. There's a fastball swung on and grounded foul over on the first base side. The count is 0-1 to Hosokawa. Alexander said he didn't assume much of Kamikawa Kabata. He had a good year last year, just not so much this year so far. There's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count now goes to 1-1. BVP said he saw Scherzer had a 39-second at bat. There's been some interesting stuff with the pitch clocks this year, that's for sure, in Major League Baseball. Never thought I would live to see the day of that. 1-1 strike. About 40 seconds, he worked so quickly. Yeah, there was one batter who had used the timeout against Scherzer, and then as soon as Scherzer got the play ball signal from the umpire, there's a breaking ball swung on him. The count is now 1-2. He delivered a pitch straight away. He stayed in the stretch position. Once the batter came into the box, he delivered it. So there's been some gamesmanship from Mad Max this year, that's for sure. Here's the 1-2. Pitch is on the way. It's a breaking ball swung on and tap foul over on the first base side. The count is now 1-2. The one positive thing about the pitch clock is it has definitely picked up the tempo and the pace of Major League Baseball, which has been lacking and needing, but we still have those 2-minute timeouts in between innings. If the owners decide they want to do that, that would make that a lot better too. Don't need 2 minutes in between innings. Get down to 1 minute and let's get back to the action. Here's the 1-2 pitch. As Hosokawa waits here and the offering's on the way. It's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep right center field. This ball is going to get down and it's going to get up the gap. Rounding second, heading for third, and the ball's been bobbled in right field by Oda. They're waving home the runner, and it's going to be a triple here for Hosokawa. He is going to drive home Yazakawa. It wouldn't have mattered anyway. Even if Oda was not playing or juggling with the ball, it's going to increase the scoreline to 4-1 now here for the Fighters. And that is going to bring up the top of the order in Yuki Nomura. Well, I don't know where the Buffaloes offense is going to come from tonight. But that is what it works here. BVP says, it's funny, I enjoy the pitch clock, but also the fact the NPB doesn't have one. NPB doesn't have to have one because they don't need one, really. Just because of the tempo and the pace of the game, they're working quickly. It is hard in Major League Baseball, as they would say, to teach old dogs new tricks. Japanese are demanded of their players. Here's the pitch. It's a breaking ball that comes inside and almost hits Nomura. It's backed him off the plate. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Nomura tonight is 2 for 3. He's got a single, a double. He's grounded out, and he's driven in a pair of runs. The defense now for the Buffaloes is in as they're going to look to try to cut the runoff at the plate. And here's the pitch. It is bunted, and it is bunted foul down the first base line. Saw exactly what they were doing. Looked like a safety squeeze attempt. Alexander Leggett said that he came in at a good time. Nothing but big hits. Yeah, you're absolutely correct. Lots of excitement here in this one. So 1 ball and 1 strike. As the right-handed hitting Nomura waits here on the offering from the right-hander Muranishi. So here comes the 1-1. There's a pitch out that misses way outside. The count now goes to 2-1. Friend Alexander Leggett says there seems to be a section of empty blue seats in center field on this stream. I don't know anything about it, but I do know that it is not a full house. When they've panned back quite a bit, there is a lot of empty seats even down the left and the right field lines when you get up into the higher sections of the lower deck. Here's the 2-1. It is a breaking ball. It's taken for a called strike. Count now goes to 2-2 on Nomura. It's definitely not a full house. I can understand it not being a full house in Orix or in Osaka for this game. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. They're playing a home game here. So are the Tigers. Tigers are at home tonight as well. There's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count is now 3-2. That's one thing I don't understand. I know in Chicago, where the Cubs and the White Sox play, usually once a year, both the White Sox and the Cubs will play at home. Same thing in the Bay Area. Usually once or twice a year, the Athletics and the Giants will play at home at the same time. Here comes the 3-2 pitch as the right-hander delivers. It's a breaking ball that is lifted foul down the right field line, and the count remains at 3-2. But I don't know how many times a year. I'd actually have to go and take a look at it to see if the Buffaloes and the Tigers are playing at home. When you have two teams in the same city. Now, when you look at the 5 teams in the Tokyo area, being the Swallows and the Giants, and then, of course, you've got the Lions and then the Marines and the Bay Stars, as there's a fastball swung on and fouled away. The count remains 3-2. When you've got how many 30 some odd million people in this city, it's almost like these teams are almost boroughs or regional teams within the city. 35 million people, you should be able to put 25,000 people a night in your stadium. Here comes the 3-2 pitch as the right-hander delivers. There's a fastball swung on and missed, and that is going to retire Nomura for the second out of the inning. So 2 away, and that's going to leave it all up to Takuya Nakashima. Our friend Troll says, what happened with the Orix pitching? The starter went down with an injury back in the second inning, Troll, and we welcome you to the stream tonight. We were doing attendance earlier on, and we didn't have you in the house. Now it's great to see you there. Our friend BVP says it's like old New York. Yes, with all the teams in the boroughs, there's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike to Nakashima. Nakashima tonight walked in the first inning. He grounded out in the second, and he flew out to right in the fourth inning. Here's the 0-1 pitch. It's a fastball swung on and lifted foul over on the third base side. You can see when it pans the crowd in the upper part of the lower bowl, especially down toward the left field area. A lot of empty seats up at the top of that. Our friend Troll says he needs a prayer. Here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball that is swung on and tapped foul over on the first base side, and the count remains at 0-2. Well, certainly the Fighters have been praying tonight, at least on the Buffaloes, in a different kind of pray. They have been able to get the job done, that is for sure, against their divisional rivals. They have a 4-1 lead now here in the 6th inning, as the right-hander Muranishi holds set and now delivers the 0-2. It's a breaking ball swung on and lifted foul. It's going to reach the seats in the temporary seating. I wonder if I could get some seats in that temporary seating if I go to one of these places. That would be kind of neat. I wonder if they give me I wonder if they get to keep the helmet that they give you that you have to sit there with. Classic stuff. Here's the 0-2. It's another fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count remains still at 0-2. I'd like to get one of those Buffalo helmets so we can sit on the left field line. Our friend Andy Altman-Orr, who's been in the streams in the past, same thing. I'd like to be able to do it all the way around. There's a pitch. It is a fastball that misses down, and the count now is 1-2. Alexander Leggett says, I wish I could have warned you with my picks, but he was out drinking after the Nats game. Troll says, didn't they change the pitcher before the game? No, I think it was the regular scheduled pitcher. There's a fastball swung on. It's going to be looped over the head of the second baseman, Gibbo. It's going to get down into right field, and that's going to drive in the 5th run of the ball game. An RBI single here by Nakashima. As that is going to score Hasakawa. It's going to increase the lead to 5-1 here for the Fighters now. That's going to bring up Go Matsumoto. Well, it's tough when you're playing and you're rolling out a B-grade lineup. As we said tonight, no Sugimoto, no Gonzalez, no Mune, no Schwindel in your lineup tonight. And those are the 4 off the top of my head. You take 4 major bats out of your lineup, that makes it really, really difficult. Our friend Troll says he's had enough already with the game. He only was here for 1 inning. Don't you know the Buffaloes are coming back? Well, we're not sure if they are or if they aren't, but we are going to have a pitching change now as Matsumoto strides to the plate. And Muranishi's day is done. The bullpen is going to be activated again. Hang tight, everybody. We are back in just a couple moments. We appreciate you guys for being here with us. Here's our friend Matt.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be a pitching change for the Buffaloes. Our friend BVP says he's always impressed at how many fans are in the stands at the NPB games. Well, the other part that you should be impressed with, or at least that I'm impressed with, is not just that, but also when you look at the fans of the NPB, a game could be a blowout. It could be a 12-1 blowout, and the fans are still sitting in the stands. They don't leave until the game is done. And I find that to be fascinating as well. So, yeah, not only do they show up, but if it's a beatdown, they still hang in there with their ball club. It's not like they're in Kansas City where they're up and leaving early and often to get out of the stream. Well, we do have a pitching change. It is going to be Higa coming into the ball game. So this is Mataki Higa. He is making his 10th appearance of the year. He is 2-0 on the season. He's worked 4 1/3 innings, 4 hits allowed. He has walked none and struck out 1. So Higa on in relief here. The sidewinder kicks and delivers. It is a fastball that misses upstairs for ball 1, and the count is 1-0 to Matsumoto. Runner at first is Nakashima here with 2 gone, and Matsumoto being the first batter to face Higa. Higa is the 4th pitcher used tonight by the Buffaloes. We'll see how long he's going to stick around for in this one before they have to make another move to the pen. So here comes the offering from the right-hander who kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball that misses down. The count is 2-0. I think I'm going to miss the reliever Muranishi, who was working at a ultra-fast, accelerated rate. He is absolutely working at a fast rate. So now Higa is going to be a little bit slower. Our friend CV Baseball Card Collector's in the house here. Our friend BVP says he lives in Arizona, and that's pretty much every Diamondbacks game. There's a breaking ball outside. Now off to second goes the runner, and it's going to be a stolen base by Nakashima. He's going to get in there safely. I didn't get if the last pitch was a ball or a strike to Matsumoto. I'll have to get a check on that one again. The runner got a really good jump. Throw down was not in time. That stolen base is number 1 on the year for Nakashima. So here comes that last pitch. Was a called strike, by the way, to Matsumoto. Here comes the 2-1. It's a fastball swung on, and it's lifted foul down the right field line. That's going to run the count to 2-2. Alexander says he blames the corporate types who gets the tickets and go for free. I think that's absolutely true. The people who pay their money will gut it out. People who get the freebies, they leave. BVP says the only stadium I can understand leaving early is Dodger Stadium. Absolutely. There's only one way out, and you got to get everybody flows in the same direction, especially if you've parked your car there, which most people do. Here's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on. This ball is taken on one hop up the middle. It is fielded by the second baseman, Gibbo. He bobbles the ball, then he throws it, and he bounces it off the pitcher's mound, and it deflects to the catcher. And they had to throw on the brakes because it looked like that Nakashima wanted to score from second. But as he ends up rounding the bag at third base, they put on the brakes. talk about the carnival. It is in town here now. That ball here bounced up the middle. He would have had an opportunity to get the runner at first. More than likely, that's going to be an error. And then when he decided to throw to the plate, he threw it on a beeline right to the back of the pitcher's mound. Ended up deflecting up into the air, and it came to the catcher, Wakatsuki, but the runner at third had to go back, or rounding third had to go back. So Matsumoto is going to be aboard here. I have to rule that an error. I can't see that as being a hit. And that's going to bring up Ariel Martinez to the plate with runners at the corners. Well, Martinez steps in here. He is 1 for 3 tonight. He's got a single in his 3 trips. He's also struck out and flown out to center. As Higa throws over to first base, and diving back in time is the base runner. I'll have to wait to get the official scoring on that one. Friend CV says he's in LA this weekend. You going to catch any of the Dodger games, or are you going to catch any of the Angel games as the catcher Wakatsuki steps up to the plate and flashes his first and third defense signs? As we have another stoppage in play, and it looks like they want to give another first and third sign here with Martinez batting. See what kind of shenanigans the Fighters might put into play. CV says they're going to be going tomorrow to see the Angels. Here comes the next first and third defense. Alexander Leggett says at Dodger Stadium, it's better to leave late than leave early. I agree with that. I've only seen one game at Dodger Stadium, and I saw the Marlins play a few years ago, and Christian Yelich, we're going to do the first and third defense yet again. I don't know what's going on out here, but it's the third time that the catcher Wakatsuki has flashed signals. Not sure that the Buffaloes are all on the same page with one another. So here we go. Here comes the first offering now to Ariel Martinez. As the pitch is on the way, it is a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. Still no update at our end on that scoring decision on the play there by Matsumoto. We'll try to get a look to see if they gave it an error to Gibbo or not. In my mind, it would be. And that's exactly what it is. They did rule it an error on the second baseman. There's a fastball swung on it. It's grounded to short. Kirby fields it. He throws to second. And that is going to do it as Matsumoto is retired on the fielder's choice, 6-4 for the third out of the inning. But that is going to be, there was more damage in the inning. There were 2 runs in the inning on the benefit of 3 hits. There was 1 error, and there was 2 runners left aboard. We are now moving to the bottom of the 6th inning. Your score is the Fighters 5 and the Buffaloes 1. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be back with the call in just a couple moments. Appreciate you all for jumping in here with us tonight. Love talking baseball. Yeah, it was. Christian Yelich was a player with the Marlins when I saw them there, as was, I believe, for sure, Ozuna, and I think Giancarlo Stanton was also in that lineup. We'll be right back after this.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. If you want to learn about Japanese baseball, see Coach Fred of Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Raps Baseball, we know baseball. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be a pitching change now for the Fighters. Wasn't sure when that was going to happen, but they are making their move here in the bottom of the 6th inning. It is going to be a right-hander coming into the ball game, and this is going to be Akihita Akita, as he is coming on in relief. This is his 13th appearance of the year. He's got a no-win and one-loss record. 14 and 2/3 innings pitched, 11 hits, 5 walks, and 8 strikeouts, and he's got an ERA of 4.30. So that might excite the Buffalo fans as he is making his appearance here on in relief. Well, he is going to be facing Tongu, Oda, and Wakatsuki here in their half of the inning. Now, as mentioning earlier, I was booked the hotel in Tokyo for the first 8 nights of my leg, and we're going to have to make a decision. I'd like to say I'm going to be in Osaka. I'm leaving from Osaka, but I may end up going to Hiroshima or Fukuoka, or I'm not 100% sure yet. I haven't sorted out the back end of my journey yet. There's a fastball swung on and it's lifted foul. It's going to reach the seats down the right field line, and the count is 0-1 to Tongu. Osaka maybe as the base, and then do the day trips from there to Kobe and to Hiroshima, maybe do a extended journey to Fukuoka. But I'm not sure if that's going to be on the docket or not. I also like to get back up to Kyoto for a brief bit, maybe to Nara as well. There's a fastball swung on and grounded foul over on the third base side. The count is now 0-2. Maybe to find that young lady on my way to Kanazawa who got me off the wrong train and led me to the one that had to go back the other way. So no balls and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. It is a fastball that misses outside, and the count is 1-2. As I said, we're going to do some stuff while we're there, do the daily. So we aren't going to call any games, but I am going to do some live stuff where we're going to do some different things on the street, a little bit different stuff. We'll put up a members only page as well. So we'll make it fairly cheap because I want to keep the main stuff, but the main stuff that we do is there's a breaking ball swung on and missed. But anybody who wants to pay $1 and join the channel a little bit later, then you can get the behind the scene action of that stuff. I'll probably do it that way. Keep the game calling, keep the card openings, keep the swings and all the rest of the stuff that we do on the regular. And then behind the scenes stuff will be the journey. So that brings up to the plate Yuya Oda. Oda tonight is 0 for 2. He has popped out to second and he has flown out to center. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. Maybe even do some food type of stuff as well. Show you some of the food that you can get there and take you on the ramen journeys and everything else. And here's the 0-1 pitch. It is a fastball that misses inside, and the count is now 1-1. Get myself some Nikoman as well and walk around the streets of Asakusa where there is that. Also, Akihabara is always an entertaining place. Going to Akihabara, the video game capital Sega, as there's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count now goes to 1-2 on Yuya Oda. Sega, I've been in there building a couple of times, and it's like 8 stories tall or 10 stories tall. Video games on every floor. Our friend Mick, who was in here earlier, it would probably be something crazy. BVP says Japan's the food capital as far as he's concerned. And I'll eat pretty much everything except for raw fish, so I'm not a sushi guy. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count is 2-2. But I do enjoy the ramen. I do enjoy a lot of other foods that they have. I'm a noodle fan for sure. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. As the right-hander holds set. And now he kicks and delivers. There is a fastball swung on and missed. That's going to retire Oda. So back-to-back strikeouts here to begin the 6th inning. Akita has come in and not skipped a beat. That is going to bring up the catcher, Kenya Wakatsuki. One thing that I haven't checked on lately, it's been 6 weeks into the season and I've almost forgotten about it, but I wanted to see if the hosted website is back up and running yet. And by the looks of it, it's not boding well for the games. There's a first pitch fastball that is swung on and lifted down the right field line. Camping out underneath it is Manami, and he's going to make the grab. Wakatsuki is going to be retired, and that is going to do it as the Buffaloes go quietly here in the sixth. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. We're now moving to the top of the seventh inning. Your score is the Fighters 5, the Buffaloes 1. We'll be back in just a few. Top of the seventh to come to you in just a couple of moments. We'll be right back after this. Appreciate you guys for hanging here with us. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the top of the seventh inning, and the Fighters fans who are in attendance are in really a good form. They are pretty pleased with what is happening here tonight in this one. Just checking out, looking around at the Major League Baseball scoreboard. Haven't really been keeping track at some of that stuff. I did tell the living room, I think it was last night, we were talking about ball games. And as far as I was concerned, was it the living room? It was Kikuchi that was not going to win today, and I got that one right. Also had the Tigers beating the Nationals. I think it was the Yankees beating the Reds. I can't remember what else we talked about yesterday or which ones we stayed off of. I think I might have said I was going to say the Mets, but I'm not going to take credit for that one. I think I was Atlanta over Seattle. I think I went with that one as well. A pretty good conversation over what was that. The concern was the Boston-San Diego matchup. It looks like Manny Machado is going to be out for a while as he's got a broken hand. Well, the Buffaloes are going back to the bullpen. It is going to be number 56, Asuya Kogita, who is coming into the ballgame. As he will be replacing Higa here. He's going to be facing Manami, Alcantara, and Kamikawa Kabata. So here comes the first offering to Manami. It's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Manami tonight is 1 for 2. He's got a homer and 2 trips. He's also got a walk. So Atsuya Kogita on the mound, and the fastball is taken for a called strike, and the count now is 0-2 to Manami. I have to say, I like the way that Manami's developing. Saw him a couple of years ago, and he was as green as grass, and you can start to see that he's really starting to settle into his own. Here's the 0-2 pitch. It's a slow breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. I can't remember watching this pitcher, Kogita, pitch. There's a fastball that just misses low. Count is now 2-2. This is his 8th appearance of the year. He's 1-0. He has worked 7 innings, allowed 10 hits, 4 walks, struck out 5. He's got an ERA of 3.86. There's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is belted into deep left field. Racing back on it and underneath it and making the grab is the left fielder, Shuhei Fukuda. He's going to retire Manami for the first out of the inning, and that'll bring up the left fielder, Arizmendi Alcantara. Well, for Alcantara, he is 0 for 3 tonight. He has struck out and he has flown out twice. Our friend Walking Spotted Bear says Tampa Bay needs a new stadium in a new city. That's probably a fair statement right there. They need to be adiosed out of there. That is a pretty good ball team that is being wasted away on the west coast of Florida. There's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is 0-1 to Alcantara. With Walking Spotted Bear saying the Athletics about to go to Vegas, I wonder if they'll end up playing in a minor league park there. There's a fastball swung on and missed, and the count is now 0-2. Cashman Stadium is the stadium in Vegas. One would have to think that rather than a rush move, you'd think that they wouldn't want to play in a AAA park, but they would actually have to build the stadium before they can move. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-2. BVP says the Fighters on a winning streak, back to back. And the Spotted Bear says, yeah, the Padres are not doing very well at home. There's a fastball that misses inside, and the count is now 2-2. CV says they can come to Oakland. That is for sure. Maybe replace the Rays with, and the A's ball clubs just do a flip-flop. Here comes the 2-2. And there's a fastball that's on the way. It is lifted into shallow left field. Giving in hard on it is Fukuda. He's going to make the catch in foul territory. And that is going to do it. That is going to retire Alcantara for the second out of the inning. So both of the outs so far have been caught by Fukuda. Walking Spotted Bear said, remember when Tampa Bay was supposed to play half of their games in Canada? Yeah, I remember when the Expos were playing part of their season or 3 weeks of their season in Puerto Rico every year. That's got to be hard when you've got 81 home games and now 20 of them are being played in a different country, or at least in a different spot. There's the first pitch fastball swung on and fouled away. The count is 0-1 to Kamikawa Kabata. Kamikawa Kabata 0 for 2 tonight. He's grounded out to short twice and has walked in his trips to the plate. So no balls and 1 strike. As the right-hander delivers, it's a fastball swung on it. It's grounded softly to first. Bobbled by Tongu. He flips it over to the pitcher covering, and that's going to go down as a ground out. 3-1 for the third out of the inning, and that will do it here as the Fighters go quietly in their half of the 7th. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. We are now moving to the bottom of the 7th inning. Your score is the Fighters 5, the Buffaloes 1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few. Why do I get the feeling that the Fighters are going to make a game of this because of their pitching? I think it's about to happen soon. We'll be right back after this. We got ourselves a 5-1 ball game as the Fighters are ahead of the Buffaloes as we move to the bottom of the 7th. We'll be back in just a couple with all the action. Appreciate you for being here with us. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters to come to bat here for the Buffaloes in their half of the 7th inning. That's going to mean Gibbo, Kirbiashi, and Fukuda. Fighters 5-8-0 in their line score, and it is 1-3-1 for the Buffaloes. We do have another pitching change as the Fighters this time are going to the bullpen, but they're calling on a lefty. This is going to be number 28 entering to the ball game, and it'll be Ryusei Kawano. So he is coming in to take over. This is his 11th appearance of the year. No record as of yet. He has worked 10 innings. He's allowed 4 hits. He's walked 4, struck out 7. He's got a microscopic ERA of 0.90. So Ryusi Kawano on in relief, and the first pitch is swung on and fouled away, and the count is quickly 0-1 to Gibbo. Gibbo tonight has flown to left and popped to short. His average on the season has sunk to 370. He's 0 for 2 in the evening. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. And the pitch is a fastball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-1. I've seen Kawano pitch before. When he does his leg lift, it's like he's got a double pump or a double kick. Very interesting to mess with the timing of the hitters. And then he does the good old Nestor Cortez, slowly pauses the lift. As that breaking ball is swung on and missed, the count is now 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. And here comes the 1-2 now to Gibbo as the pitch is on the way. It's a fastball taken for a called third strike. Oh, Gibbo, what are you looking at? As he goes down on strikes for the first out of the inning. That pitch sawed the plate in half. He is retired for out number 1. So 1 up and 1 away, and Kawano has got his first victim in the book. That'll bring up the shortstop, Kotaro Kobayashi. Gibbo struggling at the plate and in the field as he made that error in the last half inning. 2 innings ago. And here comes the pitch. It is a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. And the count is 0-1. Our friend Walking Spotted Bear said he didn't know about the Expos. Yeah, and you think about it, I guess in some ways, the reason they would do it is for money. I think they were only getting about 5,000 fans a game, it seemed like, at the Big O, as there was a fastball that misses, and the count goes to 1-1 on Kobayashi. Walking Spotted Bear says somewhere in Puerto Rico there are a few Expo hats and maybe a few O. Henry bars. If I'm not mistaken, and that was the time when Henry Rodriguez was hitting the home runs and they were throwing O. Henry bars on the field. As that fastball is popped up, it is in foul territory. It's down the first base line. Coming in and making the grab is Nomura in foul territory, and that's going to retire Kobayashi for the second out of the inning. That's 8 retired in a row now here by the Fighters pitchers. That's going to bring up the top of the order in Shuhei Fukuda. Check that, 7 in a row. We're foreshadowing. This might be the 8th here in Fukuda. Fukuda tonight is officially 0 for 2. His average has sunk to 167 on the campaign. Here comes the first offering. It is a fastball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-0. Walking Spotted Bear says he heard that the A's have been in talks about Vegas already. That is absolutely a stated fact. A lot of people were talking about this before. It is for sure that is where they are talking to. There's a fastball that misses down. In fact, I think they've even got land there as well. 2 balls and no strikes here to Fukuda. As the lefty now kicks and delivers, there is a fastball that misses upstairs. The count goes to 3-0. That's that pitch there that we haven't seen all night. I got to give the home plate umpire some credit. That pitch is up right around at the belt. And he's not giving it to anybody tonight. Maybe it's not like he's squeezing one pitcher. He squeezed every pitcher. As the 3-0 is on the way. As the lefty kicks and delivers. There's a fastball taken on the inside corner for a called strike, and the count is 3-1. This game was a little bit closer. Interested there. Our friend CV Baseball Collector says signed 2 deals and 1 with Bally's. There's a fastball swung on it. It's grounded up the middle. It's going to get past the glove of the second baseman, Nakashima, into center field, and that is going to be a single for Fukuda. That is going to bring up the third baseman, Masahiro Nishino. Well, if there's been a hitting star tonight for the Buffaloes, you have to point the finger at Nishino. He's got a single, a double. He's also had a sacrifice bunt. So 2 for 2 on the evening for Nishino. He entered the night tonight batting $167. Those couple of hits. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Our friend Walking Spotted Bear said 5,000 fans at the Expos game wasn't worth it. That's what Tampa Bay's averaging. Yeah, 5,000 with a Canadian dollar, a weak dollar. So whatever the Tampa Bay fans are paying, there's a fastball swung on it. It's grounded over to second. Fielded neatly by Nakashima. He throws to first, and that's going to do it as Nishino has grounded out 4-3 to end the inning. And that will do it here for the Buffaloes in their half of the seventh. Well, they had no runs. There was a hit, no errors, and there was a runner left aboard. We are now moving to the top of the eighth inning. Your score is the Fighters 5, the Buffaloes 1. Hang tight. We'll be right back. As I said, 5,000 fans at an Expo game paying $20 Canadian, or 5,000 fans at a Rays game paying $20 US. Follow the money, because the Canadian money is not as strong as our US counterparts. For now, anyway. We'll be back in just a few.
Hello, guys. Thank you for joining Freddie here on his baseball game. And I'm Steve Rademacher, and my channel is really all about everybody, including all my international friends. We have such stuff as non-sport packs from Canada, the OP Cheese. We have the Greek Freak. We have money from around the world. We have lira. We have yen. We have francs. We have pounds. We have Deutschmarks. We have all kinds of cool stuff like that. We even have some cooler things like Japanese women wrestlers and OPC baseball cards where I cannot read the back. We even have unopened material like the royal family, I know it's backwards, from London, England. Thank you for watching. Back to Freddie.
Appreciate you, Steve. We do have a pitching change. It's going to be Jacob Waguespack coming in relief for the Buffaloes. Waguespack making his 11th appearance of the year. He's got a win and a couple of losses. He's got one save. He's worked 9 1/3 innings. He's allowed 5 hits. He's walked 8 and struck out 14. He has conceded 7 runs, only 5 of which have been earned, and he's got a bit of a fluffed up ERA at 4.82. So he is on here to take over in the top of the 8th inning, and he's going to be facing the 8, 9, and 1 hitters in the batting order. It is going to be Yazawa, Hosokawa, and the top of the order, Nomura. He faced the American right-hander here in the top of the 8th inning. Our friend Walking Spotted Bear said he thought that as he was typing it. Also, you got to figure with the adjustment for inflation, games are more expensive to go to in general nowadays. Yeah, indeed. That would be the one thing that you'd have to keep in mind. The one thing I would say, if I was giving advice, pause. Not a professional here in terms of this advice, as there's a fastball that's taken for a called strike. Might be a good idea to snap up some Canadian dollars if you're friends in the States. It's right now it is close to $1.36 or something like that to buy a US dollar from Canadian money as a fastball is taken for a called strike and the count is 0-2. I think that the Canadian dollar is going to be strengthening against our counterparts in the States, which we're concerned about. We never always want to have a strong dollar. There's a fastball that swung on and missed, and that is going to retire Yazawa for the first out of the inning. Certainly when you're trading with the United States, jobs that come north of the border for the cheaper dollar is where we benefit. But I think if the dollar does tighten up, which they're anticipating over the next couple of years, that what we are going to see is our resources will be worth more, especially when we sell abroad. That'll help our stronger dollar. Here comes the first pitch to Hosokawa. It's a breaking ball that misses outside. The count is 1-0. But certainly it'll be good to be an importer, but it's not going to be good to be an exporter. Certainly if we're trying to sell stuff to the United States, there's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. You're just not going to get the same value of our dollar in those type of sales. So 1 ball and 1 strike. But good news for the Americans, means that we're going to be buying more from you guys. There's a fastball swung on and missed. And the count is now 1-2 to Hosokawa. Walking Spotty Bear said the pound got crazily for a worthless minute. And here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball swung on and grounded foul over on the third base side. He says he knows that from his mail order wife. Our friend Alexander Leggett says he's passing out after his 8th beer. And usually when Alexander taps out, that means when the Buffaloes will start their comeback. So if we could have only nudged Alex out of here a little bit earlier tonight, the comeback would have started sooner. There's a fastball swung on and missed. And Hokkaido goes down on strikes for the second out of the inning. Well, we appreciate you being here, Alex, and for checking in tonight. I know the living room will be talking about you all night long once you leave, so we appreciate you being here. Have a great night. Well, that brings up the top of the order, and Yuki Nomura. Nomura is 2 for 4 in this one. He's got a single, a double, a couple RBIs. As the pitch is on the way, it's a breaking ball swung on and missed. The count is quickly 0-1 to Nomura. Well, the Japanese yen, when I went over the first time in 2019, $1 Canadian got you about 89, 90 yen, somewhere in that range. There was a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep left center field. Coming back onto the warning track and making the grab is Nakagawa, and that is going to retire Nomura. And that will put him away for the third out of the inning. And the Fighters have gone quietly again. No runs in the inning, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're now moving to the bottom of the 8th, and we'll come back and give you some more thoughts in just a few. It is a 5-1 lead for the Fighters. We'll be back here in just a couple moments. We appreciate you guys for being with us here. Hang tight. We'll be right back after this.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Appreciate you there, Matt, and the support you give to our channel, and in turn, we support Matt Hollis. It is going to be the 3, 4, and 5 hitters to come to bat for the Buffaloes. That means Nakagawa, Mori, and Tongu. We're talking, of all things, about currency exchange. So I was saying the first year I went to Japan, it was about $1 Canadian got you about 90 yen. The second year that I went, our dollar weakened to the yen, and it was $1 Canadian was getting you about 83 or 84 yen. But I will say this, that now that what had ended up happening is that I'm up to, how would I say it? This year here, $1 is it was such a range. It had actually got to about 110 yen. So basically, we're getting 25% more for our dollar against the Japanese yen. So when I made my purchases, I made some back in November. I'm going to make a few more soon here to take some cash with me when I go. But basically, the dollar is in our favor right now to travel Japan. Japan is open for visitors. Your dollar is going to take you a good while, and the American dollar also is going to help you too. We have a rookie right-hander on the mound. This is Haruki Miyochi on the mound. The first pitch he delivered to Nakagawa was a ball. The count is 1-0. I hope I say this fellow's name right. Miyochi is the mound, and if he pitches well, I'll probably have to say it more often. As that pitch misses, and the count is now 2-0. So he is ready to work again, is Miyochi. As he kicks and delivers, it is a fastball missing outside. It's 3-0 now here to Kai Nakagawa. He is the fourth pitcher used tonight by the Fighters. And that is where he stands here as the right-hander ready to go again. As he rocks into the windup, and now he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count is going to be ball 4 as Nakagawa is aboard with a leadoff walk, and that is going to bring up the designated hitter, Tomoya Mori. Our friend Walking Spotted Bear said he wishes he could go to Japan, but he's a dirty ex-con. Well, that's what happens sometimes. You got the stuff. I know up here, there are some people that can't go to the United States with their kids because they've got some sort of criminal record from yesteryear that's behind them. And even a DUI in the States could get you barred from coming into Canada on the flip side. So Tomoya Mori at the plate. 0 for 3 in this one. As the first pitch is on the way, it's a fastball that misses outside. So 5 pitches, and all 5 have been balls here from the right-hander, Miyauchi. He is fighting himself here. Our friend Walking Spotted Bear says that the Asians frown upon crime pretty heavily. Yep. Even marijuana use in Japan could land you 10 years in the slammer. Here's the pitch. It's a fastball swung on and missed. What are you doing, Maury? That pitch there, 5 balls in a row. You might as well plant the bat on your shoulder, and you swung at ball 6. As that pitch was down below the knees, Maury decided he wanted to pull the trigger. Jay Jackson, who was pitching for the Chibolote Marines a couple of years ago, is currently with the Blue Jays. Had his girlfriend call him out that he had possession of marijuana, and the next thing you know, he got released by the Marines, and there was a whole kerfuffle over in Chiba. There's a pitch. It's a fastball that misses down, and the count is 2-1. How are you supposed to enjoy your child support when you get your man, canned from a job he's getting paid over $1 million to do? Not the sharpest idea, baby. 2 balls and 1 strike it is here to Mori. As the right-hander Miyauchi looks at the runner at first. Here comes the 2-1. It is a fastball swung on. It is popped up. That's behind the bag at second base. Moving over is Kamikawa Kabata. He makes the catch. That's going to retire Mori. I got to say, that was not a good at-bat by Mori. Mori would have been 3-0 on that pitch. He swung and popped that one up. He took the first pitch for a ball. The second pitch, that was 5 balls in a row from the pitcher, Miyauchi, and then he swung and popped it up on a 2-1 pitch where he could have been 3-0. So he goes back to the dugout, slams his bat. Poor piece of hitting there by the batter in that situation. And that's going to bring up the first baseman, Yuma Tongu. So Tongu at the plate here. He is 1 for 2 tonight. He's got a single, a strikeout, and a walk. There's a breaking ball that misses outside for a ball, and the count is 1-0. Our friend Walking Spotted Bear says, I wonder how heavily they enforce that. Well, there is organized crime in Japan. You obviously got the Yakuza who are in certain parts of the country. Sometimes people will put their trust more into them than they actually do in the local police. Here's the 1-0. It's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 1-1. But if you're looking for trouble, you can find it anywhere. And that's in Japan and Korea and any country that if you go and hunt for it, you can find it for sure. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Tongu. But for the most part, Japan is a pretty safe place for most people to go and visit. 1-1 on the way. There's a breaking ball that's taken for a called strike. Count is now 1-2 to Tongu. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is. This game here got off to a rather lethargic start, but it has picked up its pace. Obviously, with the pitcher for the Buffaloes leaving the game early because of an injury. Here's the 1-2 pitch. It's a fastball swung on its lifted foul into the seats down the right field line. We'll look at that out of town scoreboard again. It's a final now at the Tokyo Dome. The Giants beat the Dragons 6-2. Also a final at the Koshin. The Tigers knocked off the Carp 1-0. The bottom of the 7th, the Bay Stars have a 4-2 lead over the Swallows. Other games in the Pacific League in the bottom of the 8th inning, the Lions are clinging to a 1-0 lead against the Hawks. Here comes the 1-2 pitch as the right-hander holds set. And now he kicks and fires. It is a fastball swung on. This ball is hit to deep left field, racing back and looking up, and it's off the wall. Alcantara is going to play it off a couple of hops. Rounding third and heading home is Nakagawa. Here comes the throw to the plate. It's not going to be in time. He's going to score the second run of the ball game for the Buffaloes. Standing on second with the double is Tongu. And that is going to cut the score to 5-2. As the Buffaloes now have their second run of the ball game. And that is going to bring up the right fielder, Yuya Oda. Well, it wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing the bench being operated here. The other game, it's in the bottom of the 9th inning. It's a 6-1 lead for the Marines over the Eagles. That is your out-of-town scoreboard. Looking at the bench options, wonder if we're going to see Cedeno come off the bench. We saw him in the exhibition season, but Leonardo Cedeno as an option. He's got 3 at-bats this year. Does not have a hit yet. He's been down on the farm for quite a bit. So I'm curious to see the bench options that the Buffaloes may provide. Here's the first pitch to the left-handed hitting Oda, and it's a fastball that misses outside for a ball, and the count is 1-0. Sano, another option off the bench for outfielders. Chano did not get the start tonight. That's another one. That's another everyday player. He's been in their leadoff spot at the night off. Mune, as we said, not in the starting lineup. He's here. No Gonzalez in the lineup and no Schwindel in the lineup. Oshiro is on the bench. That's another option. A fastball that the swing is checked on and fouled away, and the count now is 1-1 to Oda. They also have Ishikawa. They have 4 catchers listed on the game sheet tonight. Wakatsuki, the catcher, Tongu, another catcher who's playing first, and Mori, the DH. So 3 catchers in the lineup for the Buffaloes, so to speak. Here comes the 0-2 to Oda. Our friend CV Baseball Card Collector said, how did Bauer do this week? You weren't here for it earlier, but he did so well that he got sent down. So got sent down in the minors of Japan. Our friend CV talked about in Cali how they grow it, tax it, profit it, smoke it, sell it to anybody over 21. Well, that's the same thing now north of the border. There's a fastball that's taken for a called third strike. Oh, Oda stood there and watched that one eat him up. He's gone for out number 2 in the inning, and that's going to bring up the catcher, Kenya Wakatsuki. Our friend BVP said Sekeni had a 2-run RBI. Drove in a pair, it sounds like. Walking Spotted Bear asked about the flesh-eating drug people can't get enough. No, I haven't heard about that. All kinds of crazy stuff around. That first pitch is a fastball that's taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1 to Wakatsuki. So no balls and 1 strike. So here comes the 0-1 offering as the right-hander holds set. Now he steps off the backside of the rubber. BVP says it's been a great one in Yokohama, but moving so slow, and he has to wake up soon. Yeah, well, hopefully that's not that long. This one here has also dragged a bit. I'm going to get up early on a Saturday morning as well. Set the alarm for 6 o'clock local time. I'll try to get about 5 hours of sleep in. I want to go watch some kids play some ball tomorrow morning. So here's the 0-1. It is a breaking ball swung on. The bat has been broken. It's going to be looped into shallow left field. Coming hard is Alcantara. He slides and he knocks the ball away. It gets away from him. Coming in to score is going to be Tongu. And that's going to be a double for Wakatsuki, and it's an RBI. Oh, and they've cut the lead now to 5-3. What did I tell you, everybody? As soon as Alexander Leggett leaves the stream, cue the comeback, and that's exactly what's happening now. They've got a runner at second. There's 2 gone and 2 runs on the board here for the Buffaloes. As the manager, Shinjo, is slowly making his way out of the dugout. It looks like we're going to have ourselves a pitching change here. As he has seen enough as he's talking to the home plate umpire. We're going to have something else here. BVB says that the game in Yokohama, the benches are cleared as Miyazaki's getting into it. Oh, that could be a whole lot of entertainment. What's going on over there? Well, we're going to take a time out here. I'm going to see if we can peel in and catch some of that game in the distance. We don't see a lot of bench clearing incidents in Japan, but that'll be big news. Hang tight, everybody. We got a pitching change. We'll be back here in 60 seconds. We appreciate you guys for listening in here with us. Welcome back, everybody. We're going to try to, while we have this pitching change, we're also going to try to do some things at our end. It looks like that Ariel Martinez's night is also done, as they're going to have not only a new pitcher, but we're going to have a new catcher for the Fighters. The Fighters are going to a left-hander, and we'll get you that in just a moment or two. As we said, we're trying to get a little quick look to see if we can get something with regards to that Yokohama ball game. I'm pretty sure it's Yokohama and the Swallows. We're not sure. It looks like they've resumed the action regardless. So we didn't see the benches clear on that one, but that would have been entertaining for sure. We said BVP keeping us posted. It is bases loaded in that game. There's only 1 out. As we're just taking a peek in, we'll be able to get back to this in just a moment. As they have the reliever here is completing his warm-up tosses. Just looking in at the Baystar action, 4-2 for the Baystars. Bases loaded. They could blow this one apart. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. It looks like it's Shugo Maki at the plate. As the right-hander for the Swallows delivers a ball. One of my favorite numbers is coming to bat. This is Leonardo Cedeno. He is sporting the number 121 for the Buffaloes here as we get back to the live action. So we have a pinch hitter for Shogibo. Leonardo Cedeno coming in wearing number 121. So the runner at second is Wakatsuki. The left-hander is ready to deliver, and the first pitch is on the way. It is a breaking ball that misses down for ball 1, and the count is 1-0 to Cedeno. Trying to do double duty here by keeping an eye on that Baystars game. Shugo Maki had fouled the pitch off there, so they're still threatening with the bases loaded. A good crowd in Yokohama. So 1 ball and no strikes it is to Cedeno here for the Buffaloes as the lefty holds set. Checks the runner at second. And now he kicks and delivers. There is a fastball swung on and it's grounded foul over on the third base side, and the count is 1-1. And we're going to go away from that Bay Stars game because it was a double play ball of the 6-4-3 variety Mackey grounded into to end the inning, and that is going to be it. So have to get the highlights of the benches clearing on that one. We'll have to take a look a little later. So 1-1 strike it is to Cedeno as the lefty holds to the set position. Now he kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count now goes to 2-1 strike to Cedeno. So 2-1 strike to Cedeno here. Best I could do on our breakaway there to give you guys some stuff. I'll get back to the chat in just a second here because we were just peeking in on that other game. Here's the 2-1 to Cedeno as the lefty takes a look. Now he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that is swung on and lifted foul over on the first base side. The count goes to 2-2. Our friend Walking Spotted Bear says he's got us all beat. He's got an infected tooth and he has to be at a dental clinic in 3 hours. It'll take 4 hours to do it. Hope they can fix him up. If it doesn't work, I got a set of pliers in my tool chest that we can do the work for you. Just let us know, Spotted Bear. We can help you out. Here comes the 2-2. And he pitches a breaking ball that gets through the catcher all the way to the backstop. And that is going to advance the runner, Wakatsuki, over to third. That's going to run the count full to Cedeno. This is an interesting piece of the ball game here. There's going to be a 3-2 pitch coming up to Cedeno. They've got the tying run at the plate through the Buffaloes. Got a chance here to be able to do it. But that ball, that's a cardinal sin right through the catcher. They took out Ariel Martinez and brought in another catcher here as well. BVP said not allowed. Sure if he's allowed to post links now. Usually not. Not going to be able to get the links up there if you post it. That'll be a bit of a problem. So here comes the 3-2 pitch as Cedeno waits here on the offering from the lefty. And he pitches a fastball swung on, is grounded softly to short, fielded by Kamikawa Kabata, who throws on the run, and that is going to do it. It's a ground out 6-3. That is going to end the inning, but the Buffaloes get a pair back. They had 2 runs in the inning on 2 hits. There was no errors, and there was 1 runner left aboard. We're now through 8 complete. Your score is the Fighters 5 and the Buffaloes 3. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be back in just a moment. The call at the top of the 9th inning, and we'll answer some of your questions when we return. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the top of the 9th inning. It's going to be the 2, 3, and 4 hitters to come to bat for the Fighters in their half of the inning. And I don't know what's going on other than that they've got a youth group of band that is playing here after the 8th inning. I don't know if this is earlier or if this is current. They've got some cheerleaders out there as well. If it was after the 7th inning, I could understand it. Maybe a take me out to the ball game type rendition. I don't know if this is going to be something that's along those lines, but they're going to be going to the top of the 9th inning in a few here. Coming to bat, it'll be Nakashima, Matsumoto, and, well, it's no longer Martinez. We do have a pitching change here for the Buffaloes, so we'll keep all the stuff going. It is going to be a right-hander. This is going to be number 65. That is going to be Taisi Urasihara. We saw him pitch earlier in the week, and he did not exactly light it up. He got himself into a little bit of a trouble when we were watching him pitch. So Taisi Urasihara on the mound. Our friend CV Baseball Card Collector asked a question about explaining the Japanese minor league system. So basically, the Japanese minor league system is pretty simple. As here comes the first pitch. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1 to Nakashima. Nakashima 1 for 3 in this one. He's also drawn a walk. Say pretty simple because there's only one farm team per each club. So you have the big league team or the NPB team, and then you have the farm team. As the 0-1 is on the way, it's a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-1. 70 players under contract between the farm team and the big league or the NPB team. So here comes the 1-1 offering. It's a fastball that misses upstairs. Counts now 2-1. Only allowed to have 4 imports on your NPB game sheet at one time, 3 of which can be playing. So some teams actually have more than just 4 imports. They might have 6, 7, or 8. There is a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is now 2-2. A couple years ago, the Hanshin Tigers had 8 imports. I think they had 5 positional players and 3 pitchers. And that was the question, what do you do with all of them? Certainly, if you have starters, that could solve an issue where you maybe have 2 or 3 starters. Only one of those has to be on the game sheet each day. Then, of course, you've got positional players that you can roll out. There's the fastball swung on and missed. And that is going to retire Nakashima for the first out of the inning. So one away. Then you also have some development players and those contracts. And to be honest with you, I really don't know what the ruling on the development players are. So like when you saw Cedeno come up to bat, he was wearing 121. He's on a developmental contract. So I don't know if he's got like a tryout window or that he's got a certain length of time that they could do it. But there are a few players that are on those type of contracts as well. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, that exceeds the 70. But I don't know exactly what the limit is in some of those rules. I think if I had a better grasp of the Japanese language, I'd be able to have a better understanding to communicate that to everybody. There's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1 here to go Matsumoto. Matsumoto batting here with 1 gone in the 9th inning. The 5-3 lead here for the Fighters. As the right-handed hitter waits here on the offering from the righty, and it's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is now 0-2. That just kind of gives you a bit of an idea. Friend BVP says he's tapping out. He's calling it a night. We appreciate you for bouncing in here as well with us. We look forward to having you back in the stream tomorrow. As we will be doing the Hawks and the Lions. There's a fastball swung on. This ball's golfed into center field, but it's going to be a nice play by the second baseman who is moving out to make the grab. Looks like it is Oshiro in the ball game now for Gibbo. That is number 10 who has made that grab, but that is going to retire Matsumoto for the second out of the inning. He had to get on his horse to get out there to make the grab over the shoulder. And that is going to retire Matsumoto for the second out of the inning. It looks like we're going to have ourselves the batter coming in place for Ariel Martinez. As the first pitch is a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. We'll have to get the specs for you on the hitter here for the Fighters. Looks like it's Tori Fushimi. There's a breaking ball that misses, and the count now goes to 2-0. And that's exactly who it is. Tori Fushimi used to play for the Buffaloes. He's batting 158 on the year. He's got no homers and an RBI. So he's hitting below the Mendoza line. Tori Fushimi here to hit. Takes a fastball for a called strike, and the count now goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Fushimi. The right-hander Urasihara ready to go again. Here comes the 2-1. as he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is looped right to the second baseman, Oshino, and that's going to do it here. Well, the Fighters go quietly again, 1-2-3 in their half of the ninth. And so for the Fighters, their last, and at least in our books, their last 10 batters have been retired. And that is going to do it 10 in a row to finish the ballgame for the Buffaloes. The Buffaloes are down to their last wraps. No runs in the inning, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're going to the bottom of the ninth inning. Your score is the Fighters 5, the Buffaloes 3. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back in just a couple moments. Appreciate y'all for listening in here with us. We'll be right back after these musical notes. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Seiji Tanaka coming in to try to close this out here for the Fighters as he is taking over here in the ninth inning. So Seiji Tanaka on in relief. He was the first pick in the 2016 draft out of Soka University. He is going to be the soon-to-be 29-year-old. He's making his 17th appearance this year. He's got 1 win and 1 loss. He's got 5 saves. Has worked 15 innings. He's allowed 9 hits, walked 4, struck out 18, and he's got an ERA of 2.40. That is where he stands right here. Well, we've got ourselves a ball game here as the Buffaloes were able to get 2 runs in their half of the 8th inning to cut the lead to 5-3, but it's going to be the 9, 1, and 2 hitters to come to bat here. It's going to be Kobayashi, Fukuda, and Nishino. They have to be the table setters because the meat of the order will be following right after that. So they're going to have to find a way to get some base runners here. Once this game is finished, we will do a roundup of this one here, and then we will give you the out-of-town scores and peek at that scoreboard, and then we'll wrap it up and call it a night. We do appreciate everybody who has joined us tonight for the call of this one. So here's the first pitch. It is a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Kobayashi tonight 0 for 2. He has popped out twice to the first baseman, and he has walked. He's also scored a run. His average has dropped to 245 on the year. There's a fastball that misses inside, and the count now goes even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Tanaka reaches for the rosin bag, and he's ready to go back to work again. So 1 ball and 1 strike. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there's a fastball swung on it. It is grounded over to third. A nice play by the first baseman, Nomura, who has to drop to his knees to slide and keep it in front. And he flips it underhand to the pitcher covering. That's going to go down as a ground out 3-1 for the first out of the inning, and that'll bring up the left fielder, Shuhei Fukuda. Well, for Fukuda, in this one here, he is officially got a single in 3 trips. As he works to the set position, does the right-hander. Now he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. 2 balls and 1 strike to Fukuda. Fukuda batting from the left side here. He has a single in 3 trips. He's also got a walk. As the pitch is on the way, it's a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1 ball and 1 strike. So Seiji Tanaka in here trying to close this one out for the Fighters. He's going to have to keep these hitters off the base here, Fukuda and Nishino. He does not want to bring the tying run to the plate. There's a fastball that misses outside, and the count now goes to 2-1. Because Nakagawa and Mori And for that matter, Tongu could do some serious damage. So 2 balls and 1 strike it is as the right-hander works to the set position. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on. It's grounded over to second. Fielded neatly by Nakashima. He throws to first, and that's going to retire Fukuda on a ground out 4-3. So 2 Buffaloes up and 2 Buffaloes down. That's going to leave it all up to their final out here. And Masahiro Nishino to try to find a way to get something going. Nishino tonight has had a good night at the plate. He is 2 for 3. He has also had a sacrifice. So 2 for 3 in this one and a sacrifice bunt. So here we go back to the action as Tanaka delivers a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Yeah, and if I'm Nishino, I don't know if I like that one because most of the game, the pitches up and around the belt have not been called as strikes. But that one was by the home plate umpire. There's the fastball that misses up and away, and the count goes to 1-1. With the 2 hits tonight, Oshino's brought his average up to 205. As he waits here on the offering from the righty Tanaka, who kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats behind the third base dugout. The count is now 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. As we mentioned, we'll wrap this baby up after this one is over. Give you all the details that we possibly can before we call it a night. There's the pitch. It's a fastball swung on and lifted foul down the third base line. The count remains at 1-2. Down to their final strike here are the Buffaloes. So here we go back to the action as the right-hander leans in. He gets his sign. Now he comes to the set position as he is ready to go back to work. Here comes the offering. 1-2 on the way. He kicks and he fires. There's a fastball that misses outside, and the count goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. That last pitch was dialed up at 97 miles an hour. Let's see if Nishino goes to the bread and butter and brings the heat again. That is some serious, serious heat. A lot of long faces in the Buffalo dugout. Here comes the 2-2. As Tanaka kicks and fires, there's a fastball that moves Nishino off the plate, and the count goes to 3-2. Nishino can get on base. It'll give the Buffaloes life as Kai Nakagawa waits on deck. Of course, then you've got Tomoya Mori, so you got the meat of the order to come up here. Here comes the 3-2. On the way, it's a fastball swung on and it's lifted foul down the third base line, and the count remains at 3 balls and 2 strikes. We are definitely in crunch time here in Osaka as it's a 5-3 lead for the Fighters. Looking to take the series here in game 2. As the right-hander Tanaka holds at the belt. And now he slowly lifts and delivers. It's a fastball swung on and another ball belted foul. Count remains at 3-2. This is going to be the 9th pitch of the at-bat coming up here for Nishino. Tip your hat to Nishino to make the pitcher Tanaka work. It's going to be pitch number 16 of the inning for the big right-hander. So 3 balls and 2 strikes it is. As the righty kicks and delivers, there's a breaking ball swung on and missed. Nishino down on strikes for out number 3, and that is going to do it for the Buffaloes here in their half of the 9th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. Your final score is the Fighters 5, the Buffaloes 3. Hang tight, everybody. We're going to be back in just a couple moments to wrap this one up for you and give you all the scores on the out-of-town scoreboard. We appreciate everybody who listened in with us tonight. Hang tight. We'll be right back after this.
Good evening, sports fans. I hope you all have been enjoying the game. This is just another message from another Hollis build. I hope that your team is in the lead, but if not, remember, that's life. That's what all the people say. You're riding high in April, shot down in May. But you know I'm gonna change that tune. When I'm back on top in June. I said that's life, and as funny as it may seem, some people get their kicks stomping on my team, but I don't let it get me down. 'Cause this fine old world, it keeps spinning around. I hope you enjoy the rest of the game, and if it remains the same, remember, that's life. You want your fill? Go check another Hollis build on YouTube. Last Raps Baseball. Let's get back to the game. Let's go! You know that's life. You know it. One love and peace.
Appreciate that, Matt, and the support you give to our channel. Now we are going to give you guys the roundup in this one here, as the Fighters got the scoring going in the second inning after a leadoff walk to Daigo Kamikawa Kabata. Yuta Yazawa singled. And then Ryohei Hosokawa bounced into a fielder's choice, and that put runners at first and second. With one gone, and up stepped Yuki Nomura, who hit a 2-run double to open up the scoring for the Fighters, and it was 2-0 in the second inning. The lead was extended in the fifth inning as up stepped Chusei Manami with 2 gone, and he deposited a home run into the left field seats. That made the score 3-0 for the Fighters. Well, the Buffaloes responded in their half of the fifth inning. Leadoff walk to Kirbayashi, and after a flyout by Fukuda, it was a double by Nishino that put runners at second and third. And up stepped Kai Nakagawa, and he had a deep fly ball to center field to sacrifice home the runner Kirbayashi to cut the lead to 3-1. But it was the sixth inning where the Fighters responded with a couple of more again. With one out, it was Kuda Yazawa singling. And then a triple by Ryohei Hosokawa knocked home Yazawa. That made the score 4-1. And after a strikeout to Nomura, up stepped Nakashima, and he singled. And that brought home Hosokawa with the 5th run of the game for the Fighters, and they brought the scoreline to 5-1. Well, the Buffaloes made it interesting in the 8th inning. A leadoff walk to Nakagawa. Tomoya Mori popped out to the shortstop. And then Umatonga hit a double at bringing home Nakagawa. And after a strikeout to Yuya Oda, another double by Kenya Wakatsuki brought home Tongu. That cut the scoreline to 5-3, and that's where it finished. Your final line score, 5-8-0 for the Fighters, 3-6-1 for the Buffaloes. Again, your final score is the Fighters 5 and the Buffaloes 3. We're going to give you the roundup from the out-of-town scoreboard across the NPB. As we take a quick look at the out-of-town scoreboard, there are some finals that are now in. A couple of games are still lagging along a little bit. 1-0 final for the Lions over the Hawks at the PayPay Dome in Fukuoka. It was a 6-1 ball game for the Marines over the Eagles. Those are the other two games in the Pacific League. At the Koshin Stadium, the Hanshin Tigers knocked off the Hiroshima Carp 1-0. At the Tokyo Dome, the Giants beat the Dragons 6-2. That game is a final, but the only other game underway, it is the Yokohama Danabe Stars leading the Tokyo Yakult Swallows 5-2. That's in the top of the 9th. And those are the rest of the games from out of town. Once again, everybody, we appreciate y'all there, and our friend Mick, EVP, Walking Spotted Bear, everybody else who listened in tonight. We thank you guys for being here. We'll be back on the airwaves again tomorrow, 10 p.m. Pacific, 1 a.m. Eastern, for the game between the Hawks and the Lions. hopefully you can join us. We'll be back at that point and time. We'll see you then. Have a great night, everybody. 5-3 your final. Fighters over the Buffaloes.